Cassandra. Look at you. You're all dressed up.
For butter hair. Hobie made me do it, So
Oh, is that butter hair? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I was blonde when we met, and then they released the photos, and as soon as I saw, I think it was the first group photo, and Hobie had the yellow hair, and I was like, all right, well, we're doing this now.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's dedication for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know because I love the blonde, but it's also like I'm always changing my hair anyway, and I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
could be a good reason. Let me just switch it up.
I know.
But yeah.
It's been so long since I dyed my hair. So I went red 2019. And well, it was for my show. I decided, okay, I need to do something different visually. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna go red because back then there weren't a lot of people doing red. They were doing a lot of, blues and greens and some purples and pink, a lot of pinks, but like no one was doing red. So I went red. And then all of a sudden I see everyone doing red. Now it's not because I was a trendsetter. I think it's because like you know how when you actually start doing something, then you notice that everyone's doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was, it was funny because there was times where because one of my other default colors that I liked was like gray, like silver. And I would like go to the store, to pick up more dye. And like every gray was like every brand was sold out. And it's like, I'm not seeing people with gray hair. So like, where is this dye going? Like, what's happening?
That's funny. Well,
Yeah.
you know whose favorite hair color is silver, gray, or yeah, that silver color. Which member's favorite hair color is silver? Oh, a little
Would it
trivia.
be, I'm going to, oh, is it between Jimin and Namjoon?
Yes, between those two.
Trying to think who has had it. I feel like, oh, they both had it. Oh, then they both look good with it. Ah, I'm gonna go with gosh, 50-50, and I'm like, oh, I feel so much pressure right now. I almost feel like I've seen Junie be asked this question. He maybe like said a color, like a color. So maybe Jimin. Is it Jimin?
No, it's
I
not
know, right?
June.
Okay,
And
so
I
June.
don't, yeah, and I don't know that if it was said during like an interview. It might have been one of those like behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. I've seen so many of them back to back, so it's like they all sort of. But anyway, so yeah, so let me just introduce you. So this is Cassandra. I met her recently, and she's amazingly army. and and for those who know what that means, you know what that means. Um, anyway, so for those who don't know, so the South Korean boy band. Now it's difficult for me to say South Korean because
Mhm.
I know Korea is Korea. I mean, I know like there's North Korea and South Korea, but there was a time when it was just one Korea. So like I don't ever refer to it as North and South. It's only like when I talk to like non-Koreans, I would say South. But anyway, sorry. So South Korean boy band BTS, they hit the world stage by a storm. I think 2018. I know they debuted in 2014.
2013.
2013. They debuted in 2013, but they really hit the world stage, I think, in 2018, right?
I
Or maybe
think
a little sooner,
yeah,
2017,
a
maybe?
little bit sooner. I think actually around like 2015 is kind of when things started popping off, where they're like it was with the most beautiful moment in life. So with like Run and Save Me and I Need You and those songs, and that's where it started getting momentum. And then 2016, you kind of really start seeing them on a lot more award shows and whatnot,
Mm.
performing with Blood, Sweat, and Tears, which like if I could just see that live just once, like before I die, like that choreo, like I will be happy. But yeah, and then of course it's just been like, yeah, from there it's, 2017, 2018, like it's just been insane. And it's like I can't imagine them getting any bigger than they are, and they keep going, and I'm like, it's almost alarming at this point because it's like it just the universe like can't hold it. Like I don't know, it's just like it's too much
Yeah,
power.
no, I feel like they need to get a little bigger, just a little bigger. Well, because Jin's 28, I think. Is he 28 or 29 this year? He might be 29 this
28.
year.
Well,
28?
Korean age 29. Yeah, 28.
Yeah, Korean age is 20. Well, no, this is 2021. He was born in 1992. So he's 29. So even by American age. But in Korean age, he's actually 30 now.
Well, he's December 4th,
No.
1992. So he's a few months older than me. He's 5 months older than me.
Okay.
Exactly. So
But
yeah.
anyway, he has to go to the army when he hits 30. So I wonder that if that 30 is the actual age or the Korean age. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure. Because well, okay. Well, anyway, so something's gonna happen. So I feel like they need to get a little bigger by that time, and then there's gonna be some changes, right? So whether it's just Jin going to the army and then the rest of, and so they all go to the army when they hit 30 in succession, and then come out and rejoin the group that way, or they decide, hey, let's just all go to the army at the same time and then come out.
Yeah.
Who
That's
knows?
been the question. I mean, I do, like, in my mind, I feel like it would actually be, well, first of all, I mean, they've already gotten the deferment, so which otherwise Jin and Yoongi would be gone right now if
Right.
they didn't have that. So
Right.
that's specifically because of their achievements that they've been able, to get that special deferment. So,
Right.
Of course, we're hoping, as fans, like that, for them and like the things that they've accomplished, because it's not like they're just, another, K-pop boy group. Like what they've done and the contributions they make to Korea, it just everything just in general, it's like, why would just let them?
No, they can't. They can't, because that would set a precedence, and they can't do that. And then how do you measure like what level of contribution would meet that certain threshold for them to be waived? I
Well, that's
don't
the thing,
think.
because
Yeah.
I mean, well, because there are those exceptions for certain cases, whereas musicians, athletes, well, not K-pop idols usually, but other classical musicians, things like that.
Yeah.
So that's where there's that conversation where it's like, well, if this athlete has won this certain medal or this certain achievement, they're able to be exempt. And then so for BTS, and part of why they're able to get the deferment is that they have received awards from the Korean government directly and whatnot. So it's like, okay, so that's where like that talk with the deferment starts, like for right now, like the delay, and then like what would be the next step, like if at all possible, like what would they need to achieve to really be able to be exempt. So
I guess there are exemptions. So for those listening who are wondering what all this talk is about, so in South Korea there is a compulsory military service, like many other countries, like Israel has that too, where you have to, I think Germany also, you have to serve in the military for, what is it, 18 months or something like that. I think, I think my father's generation, it was like minimum 2 years or something. But anyway, so you have to, and you can defer, like if you're in the middle of school or something, or some, cases you can defer to a certain age, but then, eventually you have to go, and it's compulsory. So, and I think that's in Korea, it's only applicable to men. I don't think it has gone to women. I think in Israel it might also include women too. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we digressed a little bit. I was in the middle of introducing you.
You're the military.
I know.
But see, conversation. That's where it goes.
Right, this is conversation, but I do want to get to the introduction because what we're gonna do is after I introduce Cassandra, we're gonna get a tour of her room, beautifully and probably crazily decorated. So okay, and then after that we're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk some more. So Cassandra is a BTS army. So that's what BTS fans are called. They're called army. And I have to say, not that I follow pop culture or pop idols or even pop music. I mean, being a singer songwriter, you would think I would be like very into music, but like I'm not really that into pop music or pop culture that much. Although I'm aware of big stuff that are happening, but I'm not really that into it. So, but even so, at least from what I can tell, BTS, aside from being an amazing musical group, and also I think themselves as people, not just as performers, but as people, I think they're quite amazing in a lot of ways. But their fan base is the most dedicated, loyal group of people that I have ever witnessed. And so not only are BTS fans, a BTS army, just dedicated to, and just love BTS, but I feel like they themselves are kind of a movement, of sorts. And also it's worldwide, so it's not like just a bunch of Asian teeny boppers screaming their heads out. No, this is across the world of like practically every nation, uh all age groups. Now Cassandra and I are quite a gap, I'm sure, between our ages. I'm in my 50s. And I have recently, you know, compared to Cassandra, I'm not sure I can call myself army, but
You'll get there. It'll happen.
but I have recently become rather what do you call it? They grew on me. They really grew on me, and I have become very enamored with the group and their music, and just them. And so for the past few months, I've been watching like a lot of their videos and just to getting used to or getting acquainted with her stuff, and also watching a lot of like behind the scenes videos as well. But anyway, so yes, so Cassandra is BTS army, and I met her recently, and I think you're so charming. I think you
Thank you.
know yeah, and like and you go all out. Okay, before we go to the room, I do want to mention one of the things I noticed when I met her was you have several tattoos of BTS member names.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to show
Yeah.
that to us?
Speaking of dedication,
Yeah.
yeah, I know it's not like terribly creative, but I was like, this is like I need to do this. Actually, so before I even just show them off, two of them. My one friend who I used to work with, who's also an army, she like sent me this picture one day, and it was this girl who got it. It was Yoongi. She got his name behind her ear, and I was like, oh, she was like, oh, that's something you would totally do, and I was like, yeah, that is something I would do. Except I got it on my hand. So for me, and so we'll do a quick dictionary thing here. A
Sure.
bias. So my bias is, your bias is kind of, as the name sort of implies, like your favorites. So usually people have one in a group, but I have two and a half. So it gets like very expensive sometimes because like you'll see I have a lot of things, but it's just like I need to buy like one for each of them. Like I can't just get one because then I'll feel guilty about it. And like I get like I said, well, like it's this whole thing. So anyway, my tattoos. So we have on the left hand we have Jung Ho Suk.
Kim Ho-seok, Jung Ho-seok. Yes.
Yes,
That's
and
J-Hope.
then Yes. And then on the right hand, I can turn my wrist.
김윤기,
We have
민윤기. Yeah,
Minyoongi.
민윤기.
And then Bangtan.
Oh,
So
okay.
this was first.
방탄소년단.
And then their names I got on their birthdays last year. And then also the seven here. So story with that.
Ah,
So with Map of the Soul 7,
yeah.
if you know about the seven on there, it's all of the members designed basically a seven, and it's all overlapped on top of each other. So if you look at the album, like you see, there's the different colors, the
Yes,
lines.
yes.
That's because that's for each member. So it just so happened that the seven that I liked the most was Hobie's. So yeah, so it's it's nice, like we have the Hobie and the seven, but also the reason for getting the seven is that Map of the Soul 7, that was my first comeback like as an army, because when I got on board in 2019, it was just after Map of the Soul Persona came out, so Boy With Love, that album. So yeah, so I hope like we have a full comeback soon, and like you can experience like just for yourself like what it's like, because it's like it's not just like, oh hey, we're dropping the album on this day. Like if you already know, with maybe like with the butter, like the release plan with that, with teaser photos and all that stuff, like the build up for the album starts like a month or a month and a half in advance. And so Big Hit, they release a full calendar, and it's like, okay, on this day we're going to give you concept photos. On this day, we're giving you, a teaser clip, like all these things, like every few days, like they give us something, and it's just like building up, building up. And well, for the album itself, like they released, they had Yoongi solo on it, Shadow, interlude Shadow. So that they released that along the way. They released outro Ego, which is Hobie solo. So they have videos, all kinds of stuff in between. It's just like, it's so fun. And then it just kind of culminated in they were at Good Morning America the whole day of comeback, which was they were in New York City for the release of Map of the Soul 7. So that was very, very special, and I thought really cool, because typically they would be in Korea. So they were in New York City, they were on Good Morning America. So me and a group of other army, we camped out. So we I was talking about this the other day. I was like, there's no other time in my life I would be sitting like on a New York City sidewalk, just sitting there. But we were there for 14 hours total. And at the lowest, because this was February, it was 23 degrees. So, so I like, that's again, the dedication there. But it was also, so between like 1 and 4 a.m. I was like, I just need to survive till 4 a.m. because that's when the album was released, while we were in line camping to see them. And the video for On, the Kinetic Manifesto version. And I was like, I just need to survive, because I was like, I might die. Like I might, because it was just it was so cold. Like it was so horrible. Like we had blankets and everything we had to set up, but like, I was like, this might be it. But just to be able to like survive that, I mean, yeah, and just to be able to be in the crowd and whatnot and see them like physically like spend comeback with like them being there, and unfortunately, like little would we know, we would be some of like the few people who actually got to physically see BTS in 2020, because this was last year.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it was just even more special. And we're like a few me and a few other people who did the camping, we're like, yeah, let's do the sevens. Like I mean, I joke about it. I was like, we should all get tattoos. And then it was like only, 2 other people. We had at least like 7, 8 people. Because I'm pretty impulsive when it comes to things. But they're like, oh, maybe, but probably not. It's like, okay, fine. I think that's it.
So yeah. Tell me everything that you have on that's BTS related.
Oh, okay, so it was almost a hard decision to pick which BTS shirt to wear, because I have a bunch of Hobie shirts, a bunch of Yoongi shirts, and then group shirts. But I think this is the most special to me, because this is from the stand up, probably easier, from the tour MetLife, when I got to see them in 2019.
Yes.
So yeah, so it says East Rutherford, New Jersey, May 2019. So yeah, even more so. I mean, I love the shirt itself, like just like aesthetically, I love it. But also it's, of course, even more special because 2020 and whatnot. So it's like, okay, like, I'm so thankful like I got to see them when I saw them. And we'll see them again. Hopefully they'll be dropping that, rescheduled date soon. Like
Yeah.
so maybe hopefully next year
And
because
maybe I'll join you.
you better like
Yeah.
like uh, you just have to experience it because it
Yeah.
was so in 2019 that the speaker Love Yourself Speak Yourself tour, that was their first stadium tour. And so it kicked off in California at Rose Bowl. And I remember, reading just like people reporting about it, like, what is this? Like, what is this BTS show? Like, what's going on? And people, writing in their articles, they're like, I didn't come in as like BTS fan or anything, but like, I get it. Like, you go in and it's more magical than Disney. Like, just, I mean, I've, you've interacted with ARMY and just like how they are and just how like accepting and welcoming and open, just everything, and just put put 50,000 plus of them together, and then in one space with the boys, and it's just oh my god, I like it. Like getting like goosebumps because it's just like just imagine if we could just like shoot like rainbow like good vibes out of the stadium and like heal the world. Just like generators of like positive energy. Like that's what it is. It's just like with the lights and everything, with the ARMY bombs. It's also really awesome because you sync your ARMY bomb with an app and with the Bluetooth. And so during the show, I'm sure you've seen the pictures where it's like they, show the whole crowd and it says like, we heart BTS, like with the ARMY bombs, like with the lights, like everything. So cool. So that's what that is.
Technology. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Although I'm pissed because like I bought prior to the show, I bought an official light stick. I was like, okay, cool. Like I was trying to set it up with the app and it wasn't working. So when we got to MetLife, they had booths to help people sync up their ARMY bombs. And they were like, oh, basically like you didn't buy yours here, so like that's why it's not syncing. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. So like I'm just so everybody else's bombs are just automatically changing with the music, and I have like my phone with the app like on the side, like trying to change the color manually. Army bomb. So it's like I'm hip. I'm with you guys.
That's
So
that's so
I'll just
funny.
buy one there next time because like I want to I want to see that for myself.
So what's on
Yeah.
your head? What is that?
Yeah. Okay. So this is Mong. So BTS did I believe it was 2018 that it was released. They did a collaboration with Line Friends.
Yes,
And
that's
so
right.
they have, I mean, it's if I'm remembering correctly, Line Friends, it's similar to like, this might not mean anything to anyone, similar to Kakao Friends, which is from Kakao Talk, which is the messaging application. So I guess they're kind of like little.
It's a cartoon, right?
Yeah, they're little like cartoon characters, basically.
Yeah.
So BTS created their own characters. This is all on YouTube. They have like the whole process, how they, went about making them. And especially the like more recent seasons when they're like, okay, like let's figure out the backstories for our characters. It's just hilarious to watch. Like it's so funny. And they do I don't know why they do it. They do like random, like when they're introducing the video, it'll be like this kind of seemingly random censorship, like they're bleeping out what they're saying. So it sounds like you're just starting the video and it sounds like, Namjoon is cursing at them or something. It's just like talking about something else. But I'm like, actually, I'm going to watch that later because it's hilarious. But
yeah,
so anyway.
I haven't come across those videos. I guess I'm gonna have to look them up.
The BT21 channel, the BTS like universe. But yeah, so okay, so before I get into it, so we're Hobie, this is his character, Mong.
Yeah.
And it's a little dancing pony. So it has it's a pony, but it like wears a mask basically. So this is like its like mask essentially. It's explained in the YouTube videos, the backstory. But now I remember like the first series of videos where they're drawing their characters. And it's funny because Tae has Tata, which is the heart-shaped one, we'll see in a second, because Tata is one of my like top 3 favorite BT21. But like his drawing is exactly what Tata was. Like some of them obviously they changed and fixed up, but it's just like, yeah, his drawing is Tata. And yeah, so Hobie, they're like showing him, he's like, oh, like how do you draw a horse, whatever. And it was Jungkook. Jungkook is like, look in the mirror, and, and Hobie was like, don't make me curse on camera, like, because that was the thing, because like before, and luckily they've kind of stopped with it, like they would make jokes about like Hobie's appearance and whatnot. It's like, don't do that. But because like to me, is it okay if I curse? Like, am I allowed to curse?
Yeah. I
Okay,
don't censor. Yeah.
he he's he's just like one of the hottest bitches on this planet. Like, I swear to God, like he's like, it's also like his personality too. Like when he's dancing, like, oh yeah, like you watch videos and he's like, oh, Sunshine Hobie, like he's so like smiley, which he is, but when he's on stage, he is they all are, they get possessed by demons.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
just like
They have he has a Hobie has a fierce side to him. Yeah.
yes.
And I could also see it becoming scary. Like I could see him becoming, like if you push the right buttons and under the right circumstances, he can probably be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was one of the things, because actually, so the first thing that I watched, okay, I feel like I have to like backtrack now. It's kind of like army origin story. That's also how I
No. No, let's hold off on the army origin story,
Okay, we'll
because
get into that.
I do want to get to your room. That's why we're on your phone
Okay.
right now. Yeah. So okay,
All
let's
right.
go down. What's that ring?
So it's a mini army ball.
Oh, is that what it is?
You turn it on and off. Wait. I was like, let me just, let me like put on everything. Like, we're doing an army, podcast. Gotta like get everything. So
Yeah.
this would be like your standard tour garb, basically.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you would have your headband, you would have, I have my army bombs up there, but you'd have your army bomb. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I've gotten, a lot of people like to decorate their bombs. So like I have decal stickers with like, that say sugar, like one says J-Hope, and then soap, because I'm, soap biased, and all kinds of stuff. So I will paint it eventually. But yeah, that's like the thing. You have your army bomb,
Wait,
all that stuff.
What's soap?
So actually, so they came up with the name themselves. So soap is the name of like the ship name for
Yes.
Suga,
yes,
and J-Hope.
yes.
So
Okay.
it was Bon Voyage. I'm forgetting the season. I want to say like season 3, or whichever season they were in Hawaii, I want to say. And they had to do I actually haven't watched this season, which I have it purchased and I haven't watched it yet because I can't watch it on my like TV. But anyway, they go to this like shop to get like henna tattoos or something, and like Yoongi, so it's it's Yoongi and Hobie, and Yoongi points to like this like 2 like interlocking hearts like designs. He's like, oh, why don't we get that, like whatever, and he could say like soap or like something like that. And so that's where soap was born. And then they kind of the 2 of them have kind of like run with that as like a gag type of thing. So
yeah. Okay, cool. And actually, before we turn on the camera, we're talking about your hair. So explain your hair.
My butter hair. So I have, well, so you can't see it, but I posted on the black and white picture, but so you can't see Jacob's yellow hair. But yeah, for comebacks, typically like new music videos, they'll, not all of them, and not every time, but typically like the members will have a totally different hair color, totally different haircut. So for this comeback, which is butter, just yellow, butter color, everything. Hobie had yellow hair, so it's pretty much like this, like a marigold buttery color.
Yeah.
So yeah, so for me, like I'm always dyeing my hair anyway, so I was like, yeah, my hair was blonde right before this, so it's just easy, slap it on. But I was like, yeah, let me do it, because like Hobie, like when I saw the picture, I was like, just like, he's so, I don't, just freaking every new video, whatever it is, every time they come back, he's just like, just hotter and hot. Like it's ridiculous. All right.
Okay. No, it's fine. Okay, so let's get a tour of your room.
Okay. I guess I'll. Okay. We'll have to. I feel like I need to like stand up by my door, and then yeah. Okay. Well, actually, turn this around. Oh, how do I turn this around? Okay. Technical difficulties. Um,
There
okay.
should be
Well,
one
I'll
of
just.
those.
I
Okay.
know. Yeah. Where's that rotation? Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I work in tech, but I'm not good with it. Okay, so let's just start at the door. So it was the 2021 seasons greeting calendar. So this month, which is my birthday month, was Yoongi, which is so nice. And then so next month we have Gucci Jin, which that's exciting. So anyway, that is a look. I love it. So just kind of like back up. So just coming in. I have my like various like little prints I have here. Mostly Hobie because you'll find like he's just Hobie is just he's just so
Oh, they
sexy.
were on they were on the cover of Playboy too?
Oh no no no.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't that be something? So this is like yes, this is like a little soap thing, but this
Oh,
is
I
from
see.
a creator on Etsy, Girl with Love, and I just love like the different prints that she did. This is from the winter package photo, but yeah, just various prints and just aesthetically like I loved them. So like we have the Still With You and Dynamite. Little, these are the photo cards from Map of the Soul Persona. So the last Persona, because there's 4 versions of it. So when I got version 4, I happened to get the big Hobie card and the small photo card. And I was like, I was blessed. Like I usually, I got double Hobie. And then Taemin, I just got Taemin yesterday. That's new. But anyway, so I guess since we're over here, just head to the bathroom, our area. So actually start at the door. So these are all the Map of the Soul tour tickets. So these things are kind of like bittersweet because this was the tour that was supposed to happen last year. And so they, big hit, get that money. They still sold, all the merch online and all sold out. So even though there wasn't tour, you could still buy the tour merch.
Hmm.
I also have a lot of the poster sets. So this is from the Bang Bang Con poster set. Just JK, because look at him. Just look at, like, come on. Yeah.
You know, JK is a bit of a chameleon. And yeah, because depending on the angle and what he's wearing and all that, his face looks different every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he very much gets possessed as well on stage, and it's so funny because even like the Butter videos that I was watching, like he still has the face of a baby, but
Yeah.
his body, like he is buff, like he loves
Yeah.
working out and doing all that. So man body, baby face. So yeah, so it even kind of continues into the bathroom. So again, we have the soap representation. And so this up here is kind of important as well. So at the concerts at tour, they give these out, for free as you're going in, and like these slogan signs. So yeah, so they're always different. I believe they're designed by Army, and at every tour stop it's different. So it's kind of like you collect them, like it's kind of like how you keep your ticket stub sort of thing. But
Yeah.
I've seen people with Army rooms, they like to collect those as well. And so
hold it.
now,
Yeah, hold it there for a minute. I'm gonna read it for the audience. So it says 빛나는 나의 별자리 늘 함께 할게 영원히. So that means the shining 별자리. I guess that means my place. The place of my star that's shining. 늘 means always, always together. Okay. So yeah, I'm sorry. The sentence structure, the sentence structure in Korean and English is backwards. It's like in English the verb comes last, in Korean it's the other way. So I have to say this. So it's like always together, let's go. And the 영원히 also means like eternally or forever. So basically it's like, hey, let's all, I think if you sort of translate the meaning of it, maybe you would say something like, uh, let's always do. I can't.
well, I think they have a little line in the corner. So
Oh, there we go. My shining star, I will always be by your side forever. Wait, that's not what it means. 늘 함께 할게. 늘 함께 Oh wait, 함께 할게 영원히. Okay, I guess so. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Yeah. All right. It's a good thing they translated it. Okay, I might edit that part out. That's kind of embarrassing. No, I'm not. I'm not going to. Yeah. I'm not a good translator. That's my cop out.
No, I still have to I mean I could show that later, but yeah, I have all the workbooks to start burning. It's like I need to get on it already. But
yeah, I actually like whenever they have interviews in English speaking countries and RM does the translating. I'm actually impressed with the way he translates. So and translation is a tricky thing because you're not transliterating it, right? You're not translating literally word for word, but the general meaning of it. And yeah, and he's able to do that on the spot. So I'm actually quite impressed that he could do that. Yeah. But anyway.
yeah.
All right. So sorry. Let's continue with your tour.
IQ 148 mountain. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so this is I have my Jungkook toothbrush.
Wait, so wow. There's a lot of like sort of phallic symbolism there. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but now that's what I'm gonna think of.
Oh no, sorry. I know. You know what? I guess I went to the gutter. Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay. My little, pops out like we were talking about.
Yay!
His face, he's just so silly. And actually, if you look at him, you're like, yeah, that kind of looks like Taehyung. With the eyebrows and just everything. A little brush.
It's kind of like his personality. Because if you think about it, it's because it's not a realistic depiction of anything. It's kind of like out there. But symbolically, like you totally get it. But at the same time, he's a kind of a kooky person.
Yeah,
he has a lot of personality.
Yeah, definitely. Like he's as to up to this point, but earlier, like he's so zany and all over the place. Now, like in more recent years, he's a lot more quiet. But like if you know him, like you just just already what he's thinking. And one of my favorite things are like the Taehyung vibe check. So it's like if you're phony, you're fake or whatever, like Taehyung can smell you from a mile away. Like, and he usually doesn't hide it on his face. Like you'll see, he'll be whatever, side eye stuff. So there's, I don't know if you saw it, but when they announced the Grammy nomination and it was the video of Tae, I think Jimin, June, and JK, and they're on the couch. And BTS nominated for I forgot what the category was. That's a whole another scam, but whatever. But then they all jump up and they're going crazy, and then Taehyung's just on the couch so Grammys didn't pass his vibe check. All right. So last thing, my camera back around. Just for the bathroom. I've kind of switched it out a few different times, but we have to have obviously the big poster here. So this one is one of my favorite posters because look at those outfits. Yeah, a black leather straps and all this crap.
Kick ass. Yeah, totally kick ass.
But yeah, this is from the 2019 Army membership kit. So it's also good because this is my bathroom, and then this is kind of laminated, basically plasticky. So it's nice and safe because I had other ones and they were getting a little bubbly. But so this is also, if you the Dior Hosek look from the Speak Yourself tour, where he was which he wore for Tear. He came out and was wearing this this is the ultimate help me look. Don't even talk to me about it. So oh yeah, cool. Play with love. All right, cool. Yeah, so we're back into the room now. So
awesome.
I've kind of chilled out on my desk a little bit. We have Taemin for the wallpaper now, but little. Again, Boy with Love, mouse pad. I like how we just have the boys chilling here, next to my parents. It's oh yeah, this is a normal picture, and just have them there. So they have cute smiley side, and then on this side they're all Ooh, serious, yeah. But I like the smiley side because it's kind of funny next to my parents. Um, we have the little tier stand-ups that comes with, the tier album. So I have like 3 other ones that I don't know where to put. Um, my little cookie lamp. So again, that's Jungkook's BT21 character.
Yeah.
That's the baby cookie, which I love because it's pink and he's cute. Oh yeah, King
Uh,
Yoongi,
there you
Flower
go.
King Yoongi. There we go. That's never going anywhere. That's staying there forever. Um, And then on my bed, I've chilled out a lot because actually in my closet, I have a giant bag full of BT21 plushies. But just in this room, because I moved in September, there's no place to kind of like line them along the wall. So I've put a lot away, but we still have Giant Cookie, Giant Shooky, which is Yoongi's character, Tata, which is Taehyung. We have big ol' plushy baby Mong over here, which is Hobie's. Um, Again, Tata, Mong over here. And then this wall is
Yeah,
is
what's
a
that
Barbie
wall?
wall.
I love that
Yeah,
wall. It looks so cool.
thank you. Yeah, it's just like the LED string lights, but like as you like go in, they're all like, they're all basically Polaroids, but some are like illustrations, some are like the official photo cards, and other ones are like Instax that I've printed. So like, Hobie on the street and like Yoongi with strawberries and like just all kinds of like different photos. So that's them
Oh, so
all
they're
along the
just
wall
photo
there.
printouts. Yeah.
Some of that, like some are like I have more so down here because I guess I wanted to have them by my head while I sleep, but like the photo cards from the albums.
Mm.
So they're kind of being blocked by some of them. But
Are they
yeah,
all soap or they're all mixed members?
it's it's mainly soap. I'm also like partial JK stan at this point. So we have a
Okay.
lot of like cookie, let's say. So like these big ones, for example, this is another shop on Etsy that I love, Watercolors by Sherry. So she made these like series of like, it's like close-ups, whatever, like these are like little watercolor prints. So I have JK, Hobie, Yoongi, and Taehyung for those. But anyway, like these like so this big one like this is like the actual like photo card from the Wings album, so I happen to get like my top faves. So I got Yoongi, Hobie, Taehyung, and JK over there, but JK doesn't look like JK. I don't know, it's weird. It looks like his
That
name is
looks like
like Brian or something.
JK. Yeah, no.
I don't know. Maybe it's like the hair color,
Yeah, I
but
know. JK looks different.
yeah,
Hobie sometimes looks different too, depending on like his facial expression and the
yeah.
angle. Yeah.
We're okay. I don't have any like off the bat here. Yeah, where it's like, ooh, serious Hobie and like, cutesy Hobie. But yeah, so then again, so these the bigger prints, right? Like point
Mm-hmm.
like these ones, those again are like the Map of the Soul print. So basically like when they release tour merch, it's usually like the same types of things. And so like, if you're a fan for years, and like I've seen people with other army rooms and whatnot, they'll have, for each tour, like every, premium photo that's released. So these are like the Map of the Soul editions, but then I have away, I have like the Bang Bang Con ones as well. Um, so anyway, so yeah, so we have JK, Yoongi, and Hobie, and then in between, again, this is more from the Etsy shop, Girl with Love, like those prints that I really liked. So these are Hobie, Life Goes On, Ego, this little print, I think is really so cute. Another like little Ego print. You have Hobie down here, all over the place. Um, yeah, so that's the around the bed area. So going over, I thought it'd be cool if I just like paused better on the TV. So it's like, oh, cool, like screensaver. um, so over here, this is like kind of like undercover BTS prints. So it's like, if you don't know what it is, then they're just cute prints. But there's a little bit of a glare from the light, but little Boy with Love here. And then these juice boxes are, this is Still With You, which is JK, one of his songs.
Mm.
A little Hobie Boy with Love. And then Hobie Core juice box. Um, And then let's see. Actually, this is all just basically my choice. So that's the almost BTS neutral, but I just moved my little cookie clock over here with
Mm-hmm.
this Yoongi photo card, which this is like freaking like god tier. Like, look at him, look at that hair, like just everything. Like it's like that's like boyfriend. Like, look at that. Oh my god. So yeah. Anyway, so we have that, and then oh, okay. So here we go. All right. I feel like I need more space, like back up. So okay. All right, so starting with the top, a little bit hard to see, but I like to I don't have all of them for sure, but I started collecting the magazines that they've been on the cover of. So we have
Yeah.
Variety in the back, Esquire up here, Paper Magazine. So that was that was funny because that's like a Lisa Frank and BTS collaboration, which is really interesting.
Oh,
Me
you don't
Army
have
Bomb.
time. You don't have Time magazine.
I don't have time. I need to
Ah,
find time. And
yeah.
then next month they're going to be on Rolling Stone as
Oh,
well. So
nice.
yeah, I got to keep an eye out for that. Esquire, it literally I hunted all over like Wisconsin and here for this issue, and then I just went to Barnes and Noble on Court Street in Brooklyn, and they had just like tons and tons of it. I was like, what the hell? But I got it. Okay, I catch my breath. So at the top here, we have the Machne line shelf. So we have mostly JK,
Uh-huh.
but Jimin and Taehyung as well. So they released a while ago. They came out in 2019, the Funko Pop series. So
Uh-huh.
this is based on the Love Yourself answer, one of the concept photos for that. So they are. So I have all of them. And then they had, the BTS Barbie dolls, which of course, like I had to get as well. So I don't have so I have all of the Idol dolls. I don't have all of them out, but yeah, so JK there. And then they had the premium dolls, which were like $50. Whatever, I don't care. I'm gonna get it. So the JK one. And it's like, being an adult army because like whatever, I don't care. If I want it, I'm gonna buy it. Doesn't matter. Like Barbie dolls, who cares? Let me get it. Um, and then my favorite, like I said, I put the other ones away, but these are some of my favorite BT21 plushies, which is the Halloween RJ and Halloween
Mm-hmm.
Cookie. Halloween is also my favorite, so they're just up there. And now we have the Hobie shelf.
Mm-hmm.
So of course both of his dolls, but then also the little plushie ones, the official little plushies, Mic Drop and Idol over here. This is another like kind of tour merch thing, which is like I love these little mini flags that they release. They're super, super cute. So this is for Love Yourself. And then we have one for the Map of the Soul 1, which was the online concert they did back in October, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
which was like amazing. Like, I mean, obviously real life would be better, but that was just such a deeply satisfying show. It was so good. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
little.
I'm trying to remember if I actually watched it. I think I did, but I can't remember. Yeah,
Oh, I mean, if you like, do you
maybe.
recall Red Outfit, JK doing My Time?
Yeah,
Like, does that ring
maybe
any
I
bells?
didn't. Oh no, no. I
No.
think you know what? I think I wanted to watch it, but like you had to pay or something and I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to pay.
Yeah, that was the thing because we actually it was myself and just a group of army. We got a house upstate, like an Airbnb for the weekend that was
Hmm.
going on,
Hmm.
and we all chipped in to watch both nights.
Hmm.
So we did that, and yeah, that was awesome. And I just like I wish I had it. I wish I was the one to buy it so that I could watch it again
Hmm.
because yeah, I just everything. It was so good. The outfits, the performances, um, yeah, very very satisfying. Um, but yeah, so Hobie shelf here, his little Funko mom again. And then Yoongi shelf, a little bit more crowded. We have a little mic drop and Idol Yoongi's, his little premium doll with those outfits. I love the outfits on them. It's so also so my favorite thing about the Hobie one, honestly, are like these socks, like these sheer socks. I don't know why. It just like it's just mind blowing to me, like the detail. Um, let's see what else. Again, so usually like I said, like if I get one for Yoongi, I have to get one for Hobie and vice versa in most cases. So like I have the same, things for both of them.
Hmm.
But
I recognize
yeah,
that
so
outfit on that doll. That's from Idol.
Yes, yeah.
Katsu. Yeah.
I know Yoongi. So I think with their Mattel dolls, I feel you Hobie definitely looks like Hobie. Like you can tell that's him. Cookie, kind of, sorta, and then Yoongi, kind of, sort of. It's okay,
Yeah, kind of.
but
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
but Hobie, yeah, and I particularly on the idol one, I like that. Well, they made the hair too long on them, but I think like the idol,
Yeah.
like it matches because he had a very distinct hairstyle in that video.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, so going down to so all of the albums now. So
Ah.
I kind of have to rearrange this in a way because I originally had it in chronological order. Um, and with the earlier albums, they're kind of like big, small, all over the place. And then as you can see, things kind of got more uniform. So Map of the Soul 7, which is just like grossly huge. Like, why was it so big? Like, just in comparison, especially the other albums. So this, like, for reference, is like a normal book size, and then we have an encyclopedia here. So we also have June and Jin chilling here, but
Wait, do they, aside from, so the albums, aside from the CD, the actual disc, are there other stuff in it? Is that why they're so
yeah.
big?
So
Okay.
that's okay. So let's do Map of the Soul, for example. I'm trying to do this one-handed. I also have the little vinyl there for
Um,
it.
yeah, actually, let's do that when you're on your laptop because it'll be
Yeah.
easier, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
I will put that aside. Cool.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so that's also the thing, like you just said. So basically with each album, there's always goodies. And that's also like part of the
Mm,
fun. Like I had on my wall there with the lights, like the photo cards that I was mentioning. That's
mm-hmm.
part of the fun as well, because there's a random photo card in each album. So some people are like, I need to collect every photo card of every member, and then there's different versions. So for example, with the Love Yourself series, I thought that this is a little ridiculous, but 3 different albums, but 4 different versions each. So
Uh-huh.
when I first became an ARMY, I was like, that's ridiculous. Like, why would you buy the same album 4 times? I'm never going to do that. And here we are.
Yeah.
So at the bottom, if you can see, the whole point is that it spells out love yourself. So when you
Uh,
have all of them together,
so
well, it's quite
so
beautiful.
the different versions, so are there like sort of different mixes of the songs?
So that's the thing. So the album, the disc itself, the CD itself, and the songs are the same on
Okay.
each, but what is included? So for example,
Oh, okay. So it's
here,
the extra
um,
stuff that's
it's a
different.
yeah, it's a whole photo book basically, which is also in there. So it's
I
different
see.
concept photos.
I
So for
see.
example, we have the JK and Namjoon book here, like that kind of thing. So each one of them is different.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
cool.
mean, I totally I get the collector's mindset though, because I used to collect all kinds of stuff. I used to be kind of on the verge of becoming a hoarder. I also used to do a lot of like arts and crafts kind of thing. So like I would save everything. Like, oh, I could use this as piece of plastic. I could use this on some project. And yeah, everything. It was like ridiculous. I kind of stopped all that because it was crowding my apartment to the point where I can't really, there was like hardly any floor space because I would just stack things up on
Yeah.
my couch, on my floor. I also had like stacks and stacks of those like plastic containers to organize them, and I had a couple of different desks, and I even like built shelves, and it was getting ridiculous. So I actually kind of tossed out all that. So no, I totally get the collector's mindset, because like you can't have just one. You have to have the whole set. It doesn't make sense to just have one. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the same too. Where like like you said, like there's goodies in each of them. So like if there was a standee or something like that, like I was like, I have to put everything out. I need to have everything out. And like, I have the bag of plushies in my closet now. Like I just had to like eventually just like cut back and put things away because like I said, like I moved into this apartment in September, but my room before that was just like I literally had, the 12 posters going around my bed of like, Yumi and Hobie and then JK and just everything. Oh my God, it was a mess. So this, believe it or not, this is streamlined. Like this is, a nice and neat version
But
where I feel like,
yeah.
everything's pretty much contained to the bookshelf here. I mean,
Yeah.
it is still all over the place, but yeah, much, much neater, I think.
Well, it looks very
But
organized and very,
yeah.
yeah, very sort of well put together. All right, awesome. Is there
Yeah.
more?
Yeah, the rest of the
Okay.
albums. So just like starting
Okay.
from the beginning. So this is the last set of albums I need to get, which is the rest of Most Beautiful Moment in Life. So there's 3 more versions I need to get, and then I'm done. And then I have everything but the Japanese albums, basically.
The Japanese version.
So yeah, those are weirdly expensive too. Yeah, and some of the box sets here, and I even have the Learn Korean with BTS, which I have not broken out yet. And then just kind of overflow more of the winter packages, my toys here, the army membership kits. But yeah, I mean, that's basically it for. That's it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nothing,
Yeah.
but yeah.
All right. So we're going to end this segment here, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk. And at some point, or should we watch the music videos first? Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when we come back, I have not watched the new single release Butter. I have not watched those videos. There are 2 now. The official music video, and then second, there's a special edition. So I've queued them up. I have not watched it. In fact, because when you queue things up in YouTube, it starts playing immediately. So I had to like click pause. But anyway, so we'll watch that. So you get to see my live reaction, and yeah. Anyway, so we'll do that, and we'll talk some more. Cool. All right. So we'll be right back. Woo-hoo. Okay. All right. Are we ready?
Are you ready?
I am. Okay. I have to hit play. All right. Here we go.
Smooth like butter, like a criminal undercover. Don't pop like trouble, breaking into your heart like that. Cool shade stunner, yeah, owe it all to my mother. Hot like summer, yeah, I'm making you sweat like that. Break it down. Ooh, when I look in the mirror, I'm not too hard to do. I got the superstar glow, so ooh, do the boogie. A side step right left to my beat. With me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you, 'cause talk is cheap. Side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Smooth like butter. Pour you in like no other. Don't need no usher to remind me you got it bad. Ain't no other that could sweep you up like a rubber. Straight up, I gotcha. Making you fall like that. Break it down. Ooh, when I look in the mirror, I'm at your heart into 2. I got the superstar glow, so ooh, to the boogie line. Side step right left to my beat. I like the move right with me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you, 'cause talk is cheap. A side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. I'm the nice guy. Got the right body and the right mind. Rolling up the party, got the right vibes. Move like haters. Fresh boy, pull up and we lay low. All the players get moving with the bass low. Got the army right behind us when we say so. Let's go. Side step right left to my beat. Right up to my beat. I like the moon right with me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you, 'cause talk is cheap. Side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Cool light, cool shade, and you know we don't stop. Highlight, ain't no, you been like, oh my God. We gon' make it rock in his head. We gon' make it bounce in his head.
eating a stick of butter?
So the fact that he got like 3 lines and then they made him eat a giant piece of butter.
Oh wait, hold on. Okay, and we're back, and I'm adjusting my bra strap. Apparently, I do that a lot on my videos. I don't know what it is about my bra strap; just keeps sliding or something. I guess I don't have enough of a dent in my shoulders, or I don't know, getting fat. All this COVID pounds, gotta lose it. Yes, good excuse. Okay, anyway, going back to butter. And all that's recorded, all that's gonna live forever.
Leave it in.
So yeah, going back to butter. Yes, he only gets 3 lines, if that. I don't know. Are we counting? And they make him eat a stick of butter. I wonder how many takes he had to do.
You can even, I mean, he's trying, but you can kind of see it in his face. He's like, oh.
So maybe he doesn't actually eat it. They cut it right there and then he spits it out, maybe.
Yeah, still. That's not a pleasant sensation to have. Like,
well, if it's really good butter, and if you're really hungry, maybe.
I like to imagine, because like they're always doing the rock paper scissors for bets and stuff. Like I'm just imagining that's what happens, and he'll be lost. So
yes, that could very well be it. Yes,
we'll see. Maybe on a episode of Run BTS in the future, we'll see that eating the butter was the penalty, and then it'll all make sense. And yeah. Just waiting for that.
Do they do that a lot? Do those things?
All the time.
Oh
yeah. In Run BTS, yeah, it'll be things like hop into this freezing lake, like go, if you lose, like you have to go do this, that kind of thing. Like, yeah.
It's a very guy thing, I think. And especially when it's a bunch of boys, I mean, when they're all together, they still act like a bunch of boys, Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I mean,
cute, but like,
yeah.
Yeah. You also get like the genuine vibe that like they actually really like each other. Like some other like groups, so it's like, okay, yeah, they're just, kind of working together in their group, but like them, like they're, they're in it.
Yeah. Well, they've been together for 10 years now. And I mean, not just perform together, but they've been living together for 10 years. So that's a lot of bonding. And, it's a lot of time to kind of work out any rough edges, any personality clashes or whatever it is. And so earlier you were saying like how V or Taeyong. Oh yeah, by the way, I find it interesting how like army people, they refer to the members by their Korean names or their nicknames as opposed to like their stage names. They do have stage names. I still refer to them by their stage names.
Yeah, it just like it feels weird to me. Like definitely in the beginning, I was like, oh, well, sometimes I'll still say RM, but like usually I'll say like Junie or Namjoon. But yeah, it feels weird to call them by their stage name, especially with V, where it's just like, no, Tay, like, Taeyong.
Yeah. So earlier you were saying like how Tay, used to be a lot more sort of like rapscallion-ish and how he's kind of calmed down a little bit. But I also feel like that has something to do with all of them being part of each other's lives, how they together they sort of like round out the rough edges a little bit and stuff. And also they're getting older, so there's that as you mature, your little rough edges gets rounded out and stuff. And yeah, but anyway, okay, shall we watch the second one?
Yes, and then talk about Paul. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts.
Share sound. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, so this is it, right? Okay, so
the remix at the top there on your right.
This one.
Official, yeah. So this performance.
No, this one is a Butter special performance video. So there's another one.
So this is okay. So this video on the right, that's the official remix video. So that came out, just 2 days ago. But this is just a performance of Butter, like the same version.
Oh,
so the other video,
hotter remix.
Yeah, it's a different song, different video.
Okay, so let me open this in a new tab because I want to watch this one too. Okay, so. Oh, okay. We have to get past the ad.
But it's a BTS ad, so it's all right.
All right.
Smooth like butter, like a criminal undercover. Don't pop like trouble, breaking into your heart like that. Cool shade stunner, yeah, owe it all to my mother. Hot like summer, yeah, I'm making you sweat like that. Break it down. Ooh, when you look in the mirror, I'm not you how to do. I got the superstar glow, so ooh, to the boogie line. A side step right left to my beat. I like the move, rock with me, baby. Know that I got the heat. Let me show you 'cause talk is cheap. Side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Smooth like butter, pour you in like no other. Don't need no usher to remind me you got it bad. Ain't no other that can sweep you up like a rubber. Straight up, I gotcha, making you fall like that. Break it down. Ooh, when I look in the mirror, I'm at your heart into two. I got the superstar glow, so ooh, to the boogie line. Side step right left to my beat. I like the move, rock with me, baby. Know that I got the heat. Let me show you 'cause talk is cheap. A side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Get it, let it roll. Get it, let it roll. Ice on my wrist, I'm the nice guy. Got the right body and the right mind. Rolling up the party, got the right vibes. Move like haters. Fresh boy, pull up and we lay low. On the place, get moving with the bass low. Got army right behind us when we say so. Let's go. Side step right left to my beat. Right left to my beat. I like the move, rock with me, baby. Know that I got the heat. Let me show you 'cause talk is cheap. Side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Smooth like cool shade, and you know we don't stop. How like ain't no, you been like oh my god. We gon' make it rock in his head. We gon' make it bounce in his head. Hotter, sweeter, cooler, butter. Get it, let it roll.
Yep, I definitely like this version better. Yeah.
They're just the pure chaos and just I love those because like they did that with Dynamite as well, and actually they've done it with Boy with Love too, where they have the second version where it's just like not bloopers, but Dynamite there's a lot of bloopers in there, but like it just shows
I
the
think
chaos.
Yeah, and you could also see more of their personality, because I mean, obviously whoever is singing is the one in the center and front, but the other ones are still in the background. They kind of like jump in and out and stuff, and so I kind of like seeing that, and it kind of like shows their personality, the individual personalities as they're doing that, and also like the group dynamic, and it's really cute. I mean, the reason why a musical group works is because it's they're individuals who are contributing to the group, but also as a group there's that group dynamic, which also makes it interesting. So there's another layer of that, as opposed to a solo artist is just that person. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know I definitely like that version better. Okay, I want to see the other one. Okay, share screen.
Yeah, I haven't seen these other performances either because they always do that. Like it's just like one after another. It's like, whoa, when did this happen?
So this looks like it may be an actual performance, maybe like
Yeah.
a video performance, maybe to some event or something.
Actually, so this might be like where they do just the choreo, basically, like and just showcasing the choreography.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right. Let's see. Yeah.
Smooth like butter, like a criminal undercover. Don't pop like trouble, breaking into your heart like that. Cool shade stunner, yeah, owe it all to my mother. Hot like summer, yeah, I'm making you sweat like that. Break it down. Ooh, when I look in the mirror, I'm not too hard to do. I got the superstar glow, so ooh, do the boogie. A side step right left to my beat. I like the moon rock with me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you 'cause talk is cheap. Side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Smooth like butter. Pour you in like no other. Don't need no usher to remind me you got it bad. Ain't no other that can sweep you up like a rubber. Straight up, I gotcha. Making you fall like that. Break it down. Ooh, when I look in the mirror, I'm at your heart into two. I got the superstar glow, so ooh. To the boogie line. Side step right left to my beat. I like the moon rock with me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you 'cause talk is cheap. A side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Get it, let it roll. Get it, let it roll. Eyes on my wrist, I'm the nice guy. Got the right body and the right mind. Rolling up the party, got the right vibes. Move like haters. Fresh boy, pull up and we lay low. All the players get moving with the bass low. Got the army right behind us when we say so. Let's go. Side step right left to my beat. I like the moon rock with me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you 'cause talk is cheap. Side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Cool like, cool shade, and you know we don't stop. How like, ain't no, you been like, oh my god. We gon' make it rock in his head. We gon' make it bounce in his head. Hotter, sweeter, cooler, butter. Get it, let it roll.
Yeah, I like this version too. Actually, I like every version except for the official. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I think I like the official video the least.
Yeah, I haven't watched the like with Dynamite. Like I haven't watched the original version since it came out. Like if I watch the Dynamite video, I watched the second one, the goofy fun one. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know which is the goofy fun one. There's one where they're doing it by a poolside. I sometimes watch that. That's kind of like they're just goofing around. You're not talking about that one.
No, it's like I forget if it has like a different name or something, but it's it's called like the B-side version.
Okay.
It's the official video still, but like it's called B-side.
Okay, I'll have to look that up. I might have seen it. But yeah, that one, the official video, that one's not bad. Yeah.
So
Idol, the official video. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, like for you. So okay, so for me, I won't share any of my thoughts yet. But I guess just like comparing Dynamite and Now Butter, which are like their first full English songs.
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts between the two? Which one do you prefer?
I think Dynamite is catchier. I think there's definitely a more distinct hook, musical hook to that song. And this one, like I'm having a hard time like remembering what the hooks are, you know. Um other than the line it's as smooth as butter, you know. But I don't remember the music for it. I just, you know, I think it might just be one of those lines that they just kind of say in between. um yeah, yeah, it's not sticking to me yet. But that could just be me, because sometimes it takes me like multiple times of listening to a song before it actually you know, sinks in. And that's actually true even for my own songs.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that I write it. So I did a live stream like the other week of an actual working session with me and my guitarist and my producer. And and so these are new songs that they haven't heard, and so like I need to play it for them so they can hear it, and then, you know, they'll kind of play along, and then we'll play around with like different styles or different elements. um and like, and I had a hard time remembering, like, wait, how does that go again? And I had to like listen to my voice recording of it. Even then I still got it wrong. It wasn't until I got home and I'm like, you know, like, oh, okay, no, this is now I know why I got this wrong. The chords were wrong actually. I'm like, you know, whatever. But yeah, so it could be that, or it could just be like because it's brand new, like it hasn't sunk in. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
like
think
5
though,
more listens.
yeah, but I do have to say, like, Dynamite was definitely very catchy. Like,
Mhm.
I think even after maybe the first listen, like you kind of remember dun 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 dynamite, you know, whatever. Da 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 da. Life is like a dynamite. Oh, I forget how the lyrics go. Yeah.
Light it up.
Light it up like dynamite. That's right. Something about funk and soul. So something funk and soul. Light it up like dynamite. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Sorry.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, so yeah, Dynamite is definitely. I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but last year I got to spend basically like 2 months total with my parents, and in that time, I managed to fully convert them. You know, or like I would consider them like low key army at this point. Like the level, like they know all the names, like they know the songs. Like we'll come home, we'll come back in, and my dad will be like, you know, hey Google, play, you know, J-Hope, Daydream. Oh, my Google doesn't start playing that. She might, but like that kind of thing. So yeah, so my mom, actually the times that I've been there, I was there when Dynamite came out, so I made them stay up and watch the release. And when Life Goes On came out, made them stay up and watch the release. But for this is kind of like going back to Dynamite again, but leading up to it, I was super excited because I was like, oh yeah, I finally like a song in English, like I can sing along. I was so hyped for it. But then when I heard it, and like at least for like a few days after, I was actually so angry about it because so one of the things, and one of the big reasons that BTS has gotten so huge, like, you know, prior, like a few years ago, is because of their lyrics and because of the things that they're you know talking about in their songs. Where yeah, there are like here and there, especially earlier, like the like, ooh girl, I love you girl, like those kinds of songs.
Yes,
but
yes.
there's a lot of like really really deep things. And then especially if you even go, you know, off to the side, you go with Yoongi and his August D and his songs like that. One of my favorites is The Last, which I highly suggest if you haven't heard it, because it's like not only the lyrics, like if you're just listening to the songs and just how he gets, especially towards the end of it, like you like, I don't want to be like dramatic, but literally like it makes me cry sometimes, because like you feel his pain, you feel his emotion, and you know, just like he just you know smacks you in the face with it. But,
is that the one? Is that the one where he's in a very sort of a period piece? The music video is a period piece, and there's like a samurai. Okay.
Yeah, so that's still, yeah, that's August D. which is Suga DT backwards, if anyone doesn't know. So Suga,
Oh, okay.
And then the DT for Daegu Towns, Daegu. Um, fun facts, which is interesting because like Hobie and Namjoon both have their mixtapes, but they're still RM and J-Hope, and then Yoongi did the August D, so that was interesting.
Yeah, he has a different he has an alter ego.
Yeah, basically like his alter ego. But yeah, particularly like the first August D album, that's what the last is on. It's like, yeah, it's very, and it's, especially like if you're looking at Suga, like BTS Suga, very different because August D is like, he's like, yo, fuck you, fuck that, like cursing episode, like just everything. And just, that's rapper Yoongi. That's like real rapper Yoongi. Because like, him and Namjoon were already, before BTS, they were already kind of established rappers. They had like a whole thing. But going back to Dynamite, like the lyrics were at this point fluffy. It's fine.
Yes, it's totally a fluff piece. Yeah, I do agree with you on that. Yeah.
Because it's kind of iconic a little bit, the grab a cup of milk, let's rock and roll at this point. But I was just so disappointed because I knew, like, for a lot of people, this would be their introduction to BTS because it's English, it's easy to pick up whatever, and that this is what they were getting. And I didn't want them to think, like, this is BTS, like, this is the best they can do, because it's not, because they're just literally everything else. Like now I'm like, and now it's Butter, because I actually didn't know Butter was going to be in English because I've been like not on Twitter and following stuff, but so I was surprised, and it's definitely lyrically it's better than Dynamite. It's less cringy, but but it's still,
well, I don't know that Dynamite was cringy. Yeah, you thought Dynamite was cringy?
Oh yeah, with grab a cup of milk, let's rock and roll. I'm not like, I don't know the lyrics off the top of my head, but just some of them were just like, I don't know. It's not their usual, obviously. Like
but it could also be it's kind of well, it's a fluff song, and I don't know how much weight you should give to, because a lot of it sounds to me it was rhyming and wordplay and that sort of thing, and I don't know how much weight would go into an actual meaning behind those words. Yeah, I mean, maybe you don't agree. I don't know.
Sorry, I don't know if it's my earbuds that are cutting out a little bit.
Oh, okay. Oh, am I cutting in and out? Yeah. Did you hear anything? Wait, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
It's a little robotic.
Oh, okay. I think
it's good now.
Yeah. Well, testing 1 2 3.
No, it's weird.
Testing 1 2 3. No, it's weird. Should I keep talking, or what should I be doing?
No. Let me just switch these.
Okay. All right. So we're changing earpieces. Yeah, that's fine.
It's good now, but like just in case.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Switch.
I think yeah, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I think you make some interesting points that for many of them, right, for like the mass audience out there that have not already boarded the army train, or have not yet drank the Kool-Aid, that this is Dynamite would be their first introduction to the band. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that was an intentional decision on their part, to make their first English single as a fluff piece as opposed to something like more weighty. I mean, Life Goes On was nice. I mean, I
Oh,
think,
I love Life Goes On, and I love
yeah,
the album that was the quarantine album.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think that had a lot of like, it definitely sort of spoke to the time, you know, what we were all going through and all that, and so I think that was good. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess well, here's the thing, because I haven't really been, that was my first song, my first BTS song.
Dynamite?
Yeah, Dynamite. Yeah, because I
Mhm.
wasn't really into them. I was aware of them, but I'm not into K-pop because again, I think my idea of K-pop, despite that I'm Korean, idea of K-pop is like very bubblegum, you know,
Yeah.
and like, and I'm not that into pop music in general, and so like I'm definitely not gonna be listening to bubblegum. So you know, and yeah, but I was impressed. I think I was impressed that they kind of uh have gotten that level of notoriety and popularity in the Western market. And so I think when they released BTS and I'm sorry, Dynamite uh, in, you know, in 2020, you know, I was like, oh, okay, you know, let's hear them out. So I listened to them like, okay, it's a catchy tune. Yeah, I mean, it's not, I didn't think it was great. It was a catchy tune, but what I liked about them was their group dynamic, I think. I think that's what sort of caught my attention first. And then I became curious. But it wasn't until this year. So that was back in August 2020, right? So I don't think I caught it on the day of the release. I think maybe it was like soon after, maybe a few days after. But it wasn't until what, February or March of this year that I actually started, you know, watching their videos and listening to their songs. So I don't know.
Out of their, oh, I don't know.
Oh,
My
you froze.
video froze. Oh my goodness, it's the webcam. But you can still hear me. So while I fix this
Yeah.
little chat, but so as you've listened and you've gotten more into their you know, their past work, has there been any other favorites that have stood out to you? Any other
Yeah.
songs?
So I kind of said this on a previous episode where the, for some reason BTS, the topic of BTS came out. But anyway, so the reason why I started watching them is that I could not tell them apart. It is hilarious that I could not tell them apart. And I'm like, and it could have been like, oh, I lost you completely. All right,
There we go. Okay, cool.
cool.
Some snipping, editing there.
Yeah, it's fine.
It happens.
Yeah.
All right. So yes. So favorite. Any other favorite songs?
Well, yeah, so let's kind of like back up a little bit. So yeah, so you were saying that when Dynamite came out, you were actually upset because the first song that they decided to release that's in all English, which would actually be the entry point for a lot of people who are not already BTS fans. Um, and so for that song to be a fluff piece, you know, you feel like what? Like they cheated the audience or they didn't put their best foot forward or
No, I mean, so for example, if you can open any BTS album and you'll see in the credits in the back, you'll see basically Namjoon, you know, having a hand in every song, Yoongi having a hand in pretty much every song. So they, you know, they very much make their own music. If you open B, which they put Dynamite on, you'll see it's not made by BTS. Like it's not the BTS song, and like you can tell. And so it's not the fact that it's in English because obviously, like I mean, you know, you know, I don't speak Korean, but that doesn't like it doesn't matter, you know, in terms of their music because you can appreciate it and look up lyrics. Like that's not a big deal. But it's just the quality of the lyrics is more so my issue, especially like compared to literally all of their other music. You know, where it's just like, oh, okay, like this is a little, and I think also like there's nothing Big Hit does that's not on purpose. Like Big Hit is brilliant, Bang PD is
Right.
brilliant. So the whole point of Dynamite was also to get up in the Grammys, like that kind of thing. And that's what's also sad. And the Grammys is a whole nother topic, the scammies, as people like to call them. But you know, it was also really it's like, okay, like we see you, like the first time they're finally nominated. And again, this is the same year that Map of the Soul 7 came out, which to me it's my favorite album, you know, masterpiece. Like just everything, the message, the song, pretty much every song in there I love. So again, so they, you know, they put all that up for nominations, and what gets nominated? Their first song in English. And it's like, okay, like you know, you can appreciate and respect their other works, but as soon as an English song comes out, you'll nominate them. So that was very like, all right, like cool, we see you. But you whatever, like on their part, like I understand like the Big Hit side and the BTS side where they're not playing in a fair game. Like this is, you know, these award shows and things like that where it's the same people nominated every year, the same artists who win everything every year. And so we know as fans, like we are endlessly frustrated because we know how just amazing their music is and just how hard they've worked like all these years, and especially to get where they are like globally. They're outselling everyone. They're outdoing everyone.
So I don't know if you hear that, but there's like weird audio happening when you're talking. Yeah.
I don't hear it.
So yeah, the same people are being nominated in the Scammies. Yeah. I mean, you know, the Grammys have been criticized for a long time, even by American artists. Like Eminem is famous for criticizing them like crazy. And I don't know about, for some reason I'm thinking like Kanye West also, maybe, I'm not sure. I know Eminem definitely has. But yeah. But you're right. Same thing with the Oscars. You know, it's like yeah. So but I okay, so to be fair, our other see, I was not aware that the Grammys were considering artists and albums from outside the US, or at least outside of North America. Like maybe they'll consider Canada or something, or maybe Britain, you know, England. But not really like, you know, across the globe. Right.
Yeah. So anything outside of the US like is relegated to an other kind of category. Like it's not in the main categories.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely a funny thing happening in the audio. Going back to the Grammys. Yeah. So I mean, I think the focus of the Grammys is really American artists first, right? And then they sort of expand out to like maybe Canada and Europe and then elsewhere. I think yeah, I think like, so I mean, how many non-US, non-Canadian, non-Western European artists are actually considered, you know, seriously in the Grammys? Like they have to not only be like the top in their own country, but have sort of transcended the markets across, you know, the various oceans, right? To finally reach an American audience to get noticed. And so what I do find funny though is that the popularity of BTS, popularity of K-pop in general. When I tell people like, yeah, K-pop and you know, Korean TV and Korean films have basically, you know, dominate the Asian market, people are surprised. You know, I'm like, well, I mean, I don't expect them to know, but yeah, you know. and now they reached Hollywood, and now they reached Grammys, and so people think like, wait, where did these people come from? You know, they came out of nowhere. I'm like, no, they've been around for a long time. It's just that you're so US centric or so, you know, whatever centric that, and it's fine. It's fine that you are whatever centric, but to assume they came out of nowhere is kind of stupid, you know? Yeah. But anyway, so I mean, aside from the lyrics being fluff, um, you know, for Dynamite. So Dynamite was part of the B album, right?
It later was put on. So it was Dynamite first, and then B came out in November with Life Goes On being the main song from that. But
wait, was Dynamite the only English song on the B album?
Yes, and that was just in general their first English song ever, not counting the collaboration with Steve Aoki, "Wasted on Me." But
yeah. And that was a song that was nominated for Grammy.
Yeah.
So they nominated songs, and so what category were they nominated in?
It was, I don't remember. I remember, well, Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande won for Rain on Me. I wonder if it couldn't have been a collaboration because it was just BTS category, but it'd be like a group, something like that.
Yes. There's a category like duo or group category.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was the category that they were nominated in?
It was that. So not only did they didn't win, but either way, like the whole like this awarding, I don't know how you say it. It was moved to like the pre-show, so it wasn't even part of the main program, which was like kind of like a switcheroo type of thing. And then, as many award shows do, they fully used BTS like in the marketing heavily, like BTS performing Grammys, that kind of thing, and then saved them for the literal last 10 minutes of the show, so to get that ARMY viewership. But then we have
yes, I remember now. That's the criticism.
Yeah,
because they totally used them for the marketing and treated them like shit, basically. Yeah.
But everyone saw it. I mean, we done been new, but it was great like seeing all the other articles specifically where it was like, like come on, and but then we have so for example, last weekend was Billboard Music Awards, and so that is, at least to me, how I see it, just kind of like the complete opposite, because Billboard is the awards and nominations are based on actual sales and charting and numbers and all of that actual stuff, which BTS dominates. So in the years since I've been in ARMY, I've seen them nominated for more and more categories. So this year they were nominated for a total of 4, and they won all of them. And they performed, and they didn't save them to the last 10 minutes. They had them in the middle of the show. So definitely, like, as an ARMY, like it's noted, like we see this shit, like we're not idiots, like, and it's just, like Grammys like thinking, that we are, and it's like, that kind of thing. But we see that, and it's cool. And they've been performers on the Billboard Music Awards every year since at least 2018, I believe. And
I think so. Yeah.
With Fake Love, it was their first performance, I believe. And then and they've won Top Social Artist past 5 years in a row. Just like, that's a side thing, but it's kind of cool. But also being in main categories, like with Top Duo Group, and that kind of thing. So this year, I don't know if these are newer categories or if it's just the first time they were nominated for them, but forget which one it was, because they're very similar categories, but it was like top selling song or something like that, and they won that, and something else specifically for Dynamite. But so just seeing that some level of recognition kind of finally.
It's kind of funny. So I was in an earlier episode, I was talking to Sebastian Noel, he's my guitarist, and he's been Grammy nominated for playing a part of a group. It wasn't his own group. It was, another group that he was a part of, and that group was nominated for a Grammy. And I asked him, like, hey, isn't it an honor just to be nominated? And it's like, musicians don't care. It only I think the fact that you're nominated, like, it doesn't give him, it doesn't get him more gigs. It doesn't get him more recognition among, like, places uh that would actually, like, get him more jobs or more money or anything. I mean, if he won, I don't know, maybe, but well, I guess, like, his attitude is, because he's a musician, right? He's not a pop artist, so so he's like, doesn't really, like, he didn't really care one way or another. But I think, though, like, the Grammys and also the Oscars, it's sort of an elitist club kind of thing, right? Like, I don't know
Yeah.
who cares. Um, Maybe the fans care.
It's, well, if BTS didn't care, I wouldn't care. It's specifically that for years, literally for years, and it's like all kinds of different interviews where they're like, oh man, like what's next for you guys? And Yoongi's like, maybe like we get a Grammy, basically. Like there's that prestige factor, which, like, you're just
Yeah.
talking about, like an actual musician doesn't care, but I think there's the perception where it's like, oh my God, the Grammys, like that's the top of the top, right? Like if we win that, like, oh my gosh, this means a lot. And so, I mean, I hope maybe after, like, seeing, because they're obviously, and that's the thing, like they're so intelligent. Like I think, like the Grammys and other people and things are trying to, like, oh, we can pull a fast one on them. They don't know anything, like, which is going to be, like, further from the truth. Like yeah. But anyway, I hope that, maybe after this year and seeing what happened, like, sure, put out whatever you want to put out. If it happens, fine. But, like, to not be so invested. And they've been saying, like, that's kind of like the final piece of the puzzle is, like, getting that Grammy.
Yeah.
So for them, it is important. Otherwise I wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah,
So.
I'm not even sure if they really care either. Do they really care? Or is
It
it
seems like they do.
or is it just a
So
nice feather in your cap to have, kind of thing, to have that? I don't know that the Grammy necessarily legitimizes them, or like, I mean, they're legitimate as they are.
yeah,
They've been legitimate.
they don't need the Grammys. And there's this
Yeah.
great, I think it was Forbes, I want to say, and they had a whole thing on BTS and the Grammys. And I think that, like, kind of like the sign off was like, as BTS gets bigger and bigger and the Grammys become more and more relevant, who really needs who? So that's it. That's
Right.
it. Like, BTS doesn't need the Grammys. Like, that's bottom line. So
Exactly. I mean, I think if they continue on this trajectory, like, they'll own the Grammys, and the thing is, well, it's like sort of like the last vestige of, like, an old sort of dinosaur era kind of thing, like the old Hollywood movie studios, like, that kind of went away, and like, I feel like it's kind of like that. The Academy, I think the Grammy people are called the Academy. I know the Oscars are also called the Academy. These are people who vote on who should be nominated and who should win these things. And who are those people? They're industry people. They're producers, or there are people who work in the industry. There are other artists. Same thing with the the Film Academy, and I've seen a bunch of interviews who, well, not specifically for the Grammys, but for the Oscars. A bunch of people who are in the Academy, and they flat out say, "I vote for my friends. I vote for who I like, not necessarily the film that I think is the best." They, Yeah, there's a bunch of videos like that. I mean, like it's a sham, you know. So like, yeah, why? Like I don't care. I mean, as an audience member, as a consumer, I don't care if it, you know. Um, yeah, but anyway, yeah. So you know what? If they win it, you're right though. I think down the road, um, the Grammys will eat shit.
We'll have the reckoning.
Yeah, they'll have their reckoning for doing what they did to BTS, our precious BTS. So let I'd like to ask you about your story as to like how you became ARMY, because I think we're gonna talk about that, right? Your ARMY origin story.
Put that on pause because yeah, it's the whole thing. Okay. What was the year? All right. Yeah. So one of my roommates at the time, she was an ARMY. So this was, I think, it was like December 2018. And I remember, and she just moved in at this time. And I remember her showing me specifically the video from Mic Drop, and something else too, like a clip from something else. And, you know, it was like, you know, trying to convert me, like get me hooked. And I was like, okay, like that's fine, whatever. And I just kind of like, I watched it when she showed me and I was just like, whatever. It wasn't until the BTS Boy With Love SNL performance, where again, like she came back out and was like, oh, hey, let's watch this. So I watched it and I was like, okay, like that's catchy. You have my attention. And so she was like, all right, I got her. And so she, I mean, we're roommates, but she texted me a list of like videos to watch. And out of them, I just started with Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And yeah, if you know the video, then yeah, that was it. It was just like I watched Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and that was it. Because like, especially like at the time, this is before you know, on Kinetic Manifesto where they have the low cut tank tops and all this stuff. Like at the time, it was definitely like kind of like the sexiest video, I guess. And that's a whole other thing where it just BTS is a different kind of sexy because and this is getting into other things, but because there are other idol groups, male idol groups, where like, yeah, they come out shirtless, like whatever, and that's the thing. But BTS were like, if we can see a calf or maybe like you know, a collarbone or something, it's like the Victorian ages. It's like, oh my god, like it's like
less is more. Yes.
Yeah, and so like I'm so used to that, you know, with them. So then I've gotten into Taemin, who's from SHINee, which has been around since 2008, and like you know, he released a video the same week as Butter, which was last week, or I don't know what time is anymore, but you know, he's like running around shirtless and stuff, and I'm still like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening, because I'm so used to BTS. But anyway, so yeah, going back to that.
I missed something. Who are you just talking about now?
Taemin from SHINee, group called SHINee.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Okay, got it.
He's
yeah
behind me. I just changed the poster.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So that whole day I just watched Blood Centers the whole day. But going back to the Boy With Love performance, in terms of biases, that's a question for you, if you have a bias or not yet. But at least like just from that performance alone, I was like, ooh, that one with the red shirt, which is Yoongi, which, you know, later find out. So yeah, from the jump, I was like, you know, day one, Yoongi / Suga. Yeah, he was my favorite. And then within a month, like maybe like a few weeks later, my roommate, the ARMY, she showed me this video, and it was J-Hope being a dom for 17 minutes straight. And then so that's where we became obese. No, like how you were saying, you know, how we were saying earlier, where it's like, oh yeah, Sunshine Hobie. It's like, no, like, you know, if you do the wrong thing, like you can tell, like he has like, you know, this whole other side. So it's basically like, you know, that kind of thing. It's a lot of like older clips. And usually he's like terrorizing Jimin. It's like choking him and like whatever, but it's funny. Oh. You just have to watch it.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, let's, you know, we're adding Hobie there too. But yeah, so that's how I started with the biases and generally getting into them. And so yeah, so this was April 2019. And a month later was they were coming to MetLife. So we just kind of got lucky, I guess, because I was like, we're going, because my roommate, she had been in Army for probably at least a year at that point. And she was like, oh, I didn't want to go by myself. I was like, we're going, but we're getting the tickets. We went on StubHub, we managed to get, I guess, fairly, pretty decent tickets, I think, 3 weeks out from the event. And yeah, we went. And like I said, it was just such a magical experience. But yeah, I guess that's how we started.
Yeah. So have you been a fan, kind of like this level fan with any other group, any other artist?
No. So I think with a lot, because it's I wasn't into K-pop before BTS or anything like that. So it wasn't I was predispositioned to get into BTS. And I also even growing up, because my age and in the 90s, whatever, was boy bands Backstreet Boys and things all that stuff. I didn't care. I didn't pay attention to that. Boy groups, I thought they were kind of annoying. I did like Spice Girls, so girl groups fine. But but I was I just I wasn't even into it. And so the closest thing I had growing up was when I was 13, 14, around there, and a few years out, was My Chemical Romance, actually, since I was
okay,
more like emo at the time was the label. But yeah, I loved them a lot. Also because I'm from Jersey, and the whole band is from Jersey, and my parents almost bought a house in the same town as the singer and his brother, whatever. But there was that, and it was also it was that time as well, because that was I think, let's say 2005, 2007, that was the golden emo age. And so it was Fall Out Boy and My Chemical Romance, all these groups. So that was my brother's favorite. My brother's favorite was Fall Out Boy. We as a family, even my parents were love My Chemical Romance. My mom took me to go see My Chemical Romance. My dad took my brother to go see Fall Out Boy. So we did all that, but that was so that was my I can't even say teeny bopper, because that's not a teeny bopper thing, but that was my teenage kind of obsession at the time. And it's actually in contrast to My Chemical Romance and BTS. It's
very different.
Couldn't be more different. But yeah, that was, I guess, the closest thing, but it definitely wasn't at this level. I loved them for years. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, I think it's different, maybe because well, not only I'm an adult now, but it's also BTS is my age. So I think that was the difference too. It feels, in a way, it feels a bit more, I don't know if relatable would be the word, but I was 14 years old, and I'm I'm going to marry Gerard Way, and he's, twice my age. That kind of thing. But Yoongi's 2 months older than me. We're the same age. It's different. I don't know. I think that plays a factor as well. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've definitely never had anything like this.
Yeah. And I would kind of guess, this is just pure speculation, that a lot of BTS Army, they haven't been fanatic about any other artist or any other group, but there's something about BTS that does kind of hook you in. Yeah. And it's not only their music, it's not only their lyrics, I think it's just the overall package. There's something quite special about them, yeah.
I think it and what that is, and what I think that is at least the perception, because again, we can't assume I know them inside and out, because obviously we can never do that, but we have there's that, the perception that they are very accessible, because from the start they started with VLive, where they were doing little vlogs, little live broadcasts, so they would hop on there and do that, and they have so much content. They have Run BTS. They have, I don't know if you've seen In the Soup, but that's my favorite program that they've ever done, because it was last year. So, again, pandemic time still, but they got basically this, I don't know, I don't want to call it a reserve. They got, along this river, just this house, and it's just the 7 of them just living and just like doing whatever.
I've seen clips of those. Yeah.
It's just, it'll be like an episode. Most of it will be like, hey, maybe one of them is just sitting around playing video games. Another one is like building a kite, but it's just like, I could watch this like forever. Like it's just, and yeah, again, like the dynamic between the members themselves, like as a whole group, it's, yeah, you can tell they're just very genuine.
Yeah.
I feel.
And I think that's partly why people sort of get really attached to them, because they feel like they get to know them. And I think in some cases they even like talk directly to some of their fan members. Yeah, because I think there's one clip where Jimin is talking to a girl fan, and she was kind of telling him and how her boyfriend has to understand that he comes second. He will come second always, because Jimin always comes first. And Jimin's like, no, don't tell your boyfriend that, he'll come and beat me up. And it's so cute. Yeah, so I think there was like the video logs and those things. There's also a series that they do, I think it's called the Upper Room, something Upper Room or something, where they have questions from their fans. I guess they've been pre-selected maybe by the producer or something, and they're in a basket, and then they're sitting around the table and they're just refreshments, eating, drinking, and then they pull out one question after another and they answer them. And the one episode I watched, the questions, a lot of the questions went kind of like, ask them about their background and their childhood, and very personal questions, about like their impressions of like each other and stuff like that. And you could tell like they're answering them very honestly. I mean, diplomatically, tactfully, but also very honestly. And so you feel like, that they're people and not just performers, not just artists. Yeah. So I think, I think you're right. I think that's a huge factor. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, as I've gotten into BTS, I've, now at this point, in the past few months, like I said, like gotten, to Taemin and other groups and whatnot, and just like getting more familiar with like K-pop as a whole and the industry and whatnot. And like, and not a dig at any other groups, but you could tell, you get the vibe where it's like, okay, like, yeah, like even as a group, if they're doing like, an interview or something together, like it's a different vibe where it does feel more like they work together and like that kind of thing. Like, but with BTS, it generally feels like they're like, you're my brother, like, and especially like with Cookie, who he was 14, 15 when they started in training days. You kind of like think that it's like they kind of like raised him like in a way, and so you and and he says that, and it's like you feel like the other 6 are reflected in him. It's like so cute, and it's like they and he's such a happy like soul, like to this day, like and so you could tell like they've taken care of him, and like how they raised him and kind of shielded him from some things or whatnot, because it's vicious with the K-pop industry. So
yeah. With any aspect of entertainment industry, it can eat you alive and chew you up and spit you out. I mean, we know that from like any number of child stars who have gone very wrong, right, in their adulthood, and because they haven't been properly protected and properly raised by the people around them, but so I think that's another great sort of testament to like how the older members kind of really looked out for the younger members, especially JK. They're just very endearing, I don't know, all of them. So I find it interesting that you use the word bias and not word the the word favorite. So is that a particular lexicon in Army speak?
Well, I don't know if it's, I think it's just in general, like that's, I don't know if it's for K-pop specifically, but I think it's more a term for like just in general, like it's the
Maybe,
bias.
yeah, maybe it's the Asian interpretation. So in Asia, particularly, I'm not sure about China or some of the Southeast Asian countries, but especially Korea and Japan, they adopt a lot of English words. You know, they love English and they love America and they love the American culture and all that. So they adopt a lot of English words in the everyday vernacular. So if you watch, you know, there's a funny story. Like back when I was in college, I used to tutor kids, you know, like private tutoring, particularly um, Korean immigrant kids who need to, you know, learn English. And so I would tutor them. And there was one kid who was very bright. He was in 8th grade. So he was a little older than the kids I normally tutor, who are usually in like elementary school. But anyway, so we're going over different vocabulary words, and the word was rival, right? Like, you know, your nemesis, rival, you know, that sort of thing. So I was explaining to him what rival means, right, in Korean. And then after a couple of, like, I don't know, maybe a few 10 seconds, he finally goes, ah, rival, which is the Korean pronunciation of the English word rival. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, yes, that's right. Korean uses a lot of English words in their everyday vocabulary. So from that point on, whenever there was a vocabulary word that he didn't know, I would actually pronounce it in the Korean pronunciation to see if he knows what that is, because that saved a lot of like explaining time. And then if he didn't understand, then I would, you know, guess like, okay, maybe they don't actually use this word. So I think maybe the word bias is one of those things where they adopted to mean favorite. Because bias in English, in the American context, does not mean favorite. It often has a negative connotation too. Yeah.
Mhm.
But anyway.
Well, I wonder
Yeah,
if it could also be how, you know, for example, in, you know, K-pop and J-pop and whatnot, where they're referred to as idols versus like here, like in the US, we would say, you know, like, oh, you know, pop star or something like that. But idols, that's a whole other thing, because idols, like, you know, if you know the industry, it's like, okay, you had to do years of training, you had to debut, there's like all these other things, and then it's this like tier, this like,
yeah,
you know, above that, like this like god tier, not god tier, but like, you know, this like thing where's idols, like, yeah, so like a different term.
Yeah, kind of like maybe American Idol, although you know, the K-pop and J-pop has been around much longer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like you know, British English and American English and Australian English being different. You know, I'm sure Canadian English also, like, you know, you use different words. Like even within the US, some regions like the Midwest, they say pop instead of soda, or I think that's true. Well, anyway, some regions say pop and some regions say soda, and some regions say tennis shoes and some say sneakers. It's kind of like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that was a long roundabout journey to get to a simple language evolution phenomena. So my bias, do you want to guess?
Well, I don't know, maybe like, let's have not clues about the person, but like clues about, I don't know, like what
I will say this, he's
your
one of the
favorite
rappers.
things.
He's one of the rappers.
Are you a Junie?
Yes.
June?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not as familiar with their nicknames. Yeah. Yes, RM. So I still call them by their stage names. I don't know why. Because
Okay, I'll
yeah.
use stage names.
No. That's okay. Yeah, I'm a Junie. So the reason has nothing to do with his rapping skills or his musical skills or anything. It's the way he carried himself. And I could tell, like, oh, okay, he's the more mature one out of the entire group. And this is way before I started watching the interviews where he would introduce himself as I'm the leader of the group and that sort of thing. So this is before I knew any of that. And just after watching I think just a few maybe music videos. So it wasn't even like behind the scenes stuff. Like there was something about the way he carried himself. It's like, this guy, he stands out as the mature one. So I thought immediately that he was the oldest. And then as I watched, some of the other videos, like interviews and behind the scenes, then I found out that he's not the oldest, but he's the leader, which sort of explains why his behavior and the way he carried himself was that way. So yeah, no, he's my favorite. I kind of like I think I tend to like head honchos in any kind of group dynamic.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't know, I like figured Judy because I've noticed, like, particularly in the army friend group that I had, pretty much all of them. So out of like kind of the initial group that we had, or just even, as I don't know, more and more meeting more and more people, and group expanded, everyone got to know each other. Majority of us, like, we're in our mid to late 20s and up, right? So into 30s, 40s, and majority, of the people, were a Junie bias, or one of the young lines, like older members. And I've noticed people who are younger, like the younger girls, like they tend to favor the Maknae line.
Yeah.
And so, which for people who don't know, is
That's so funny. Young line and Maknae line.
yeah. Which so Maknae, which is JK, who is the youngest, then Taehyung and Jimin, and then Hyungline, Namjoon. Namjoon's the Maknae of the Hyungline. But yeah, so Namjoon, Hobi, Yoongi, and then Jin. So in the fan chant, it goes in age order, but because Namjoon is the leader, he's first. So Kim Namjoon, Kim Seokjin. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should also try the fan chant.
Yeah. What is a fan chant? Because I hear them every once in a while. Like,
yeah. Also, I love watching like clips where it, like, in a performance and you hear the fan chant in the back. And
yeah,
I don't know, I've seen memes where people thought, like, is this like, a satanic ritual going, like something like that, where they just hear it.
It's a mashup of their names, right?
It's okay. So it's also funny. There's this one clip that I saw, like, from a while ago, and like even the boys couldn't do it. And it's like, it's literally your names, guys. So it goes, so what they do, so part of, so a lot of the songs, it'll actually be like officially from Big Hit, this is the fan chant. So this is when you repeat this word, this is when you start the chant, this is when you do this. So there'll be like breaks. So for example, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, like the whole musical intro in the beginning there, that's when you start the fan chant. So so it is Kim Namjoon, Kim Seokjin, Min Yoongi, Jung Ho-suk, Park Jae-min, Kim Tae-young, Jung Jung-kook, BTS. And so that goes with like the beat of the song. Sometimes faster, sometimes it's slower.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like built in there.
But there's a specific order, right? Yeah.
Yes. So it's starting
first. Yeah.
Yep. And then in age order.
Oh, okay. It starts with Kim Namjoon and then age order. My question, if I ever get to interview them, is how did Kim Namjoon become the leader? Because he's not the oldest.
He was the first member.
I doubt that could be part of it. I doubt that's the only reason.
Yeah.
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 Well, actually, let's qualify that he is the first member of the now BTS. There was an earlier iteration of BTS, and he's the only surviving member of that. So the assemblage of BTS started in 2010. That's when Big Hit, or the guy Bang something, yeah, Yeah. But anyway,
Go on.
yeah, the owner of Big Hit. Um, when they started recruiting members, and I don't know if RM was the first member recruited, but he was definitely early ones. So anyway, and they kind of cycle through different members until they decided eventually, I guess, to let everyone go except him. And then they recruited other members, and then those are the members that we see today. So they hadn't yet debuted. So it was now with the current members they debut with that group. At least that's the story I'm sort of piecing together from little bits and pieces that I gathered from here and there. Yeah, it's kind of curious. Maybe you're right. Maybe because he was the first member of the current group, and that's why, because in the Korean culture, age is a big thing in hierarchy, and yeah, so I'm I do wonder, like, if Jin and Hope, not Hobie, Suga, Yoongi, if either of them ever feel slighted that that Namjoon is the leader, but it doesn't appear that way. Yeah, it doesn't appear that way at all, actually, which is good. Yeah. But anyway,
and it's interesting because it's actually, this might sound a little silly, but like the phone game that they released, I think it was 2019, BTS World. I still have it on my phone, but I haven't played it in a while. It actually, it starts with, because you're supposed to be their manager, and it actually goes through how each member joined, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
And so, so basically, like Jin, they pulled him in for his looks. That was like one of the things. JK, for example, he was being scouted by a bunch of different companies, but one of the reasons he went with BTS and Big Hit was because of Namjoon. Like, he was just so enamored, and like to this day, he's like, Namjoon, like, he's like, his idol. Like,
oh yeah, yeah,
it's so cute.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is very cute. And and all of the members actually have tremendous respect for Namjoon and his leadership. So, which is also great to see. Yeah. And so all right, cool. Let's okay, so you start out there, and so was there anything in particular, like, when did you start having biases?
Like literally day one.
Okay.
Like I said with like Yoongi, where it was like, oh, that one with the red shirt, because Yoongi is like usually like not, sometimes he's like kind of up in the front with the dance line, because that's the thing, and one of the things I love about him and his personality, because he is a cat. Like that's kind of like the I don't want to say, I don't know how you would describe it, but like to Army, like he's like a cat, like he's like the grandpa of the group. Like he's very like, even at the end of like the Dynamite remix video where he's doing his little dance and making his face, like all the members, like JK's in the back, just like, go Yoongi, go Grandpa Yoongi. But yeah, I just lost my train of thought because I was going to other things. But yeah, just from that performance, like, so that was the thing, that like he will like complain about things a lot and be like, oh, I gotta go do this, like whatever. But when he does it, like he is, I mean, they're obviously all fantastic dancers, but like Yoongi kills it. Like, he'd go up and like do some stuff, and yeah, it's so funny because that's like part of it. And it's funny going back to like the inception of the group, because they were, initially going to be like a rap group, like that's their, and so Yoongi, already being a rapper, was like, oh yeah, cool, like I'm about this. And then just, thankfully, at a certain point they shifted and started, like hey JK, like maybe let's have you stop rapping and like actually use vocal talents, and he's the main vocal. So they actually started to play to each member's strengths instead. But yeah, I kind of like look at it as in a funny way, like kind of like they tricked Yoongi into like being in a group. Like after that, they're like, all right, we'll get him in, we'll be a rap group. And then okay, all of a sudden, no, we're this idol group and you have to dance now.
Yeah, I'm actually, I would like to see more rap incorporated into their songs. And I feel like the rap portion of the songs are getting like, diminishing more and more.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, and you were complaining about Hobie having only 3 lines. Yeah, I was looking at it and it was like RM was like, he doesn't have any lines either.
Yeah.
And he often is not even when they have rap portions, he often is not sort of the focal point either. It's often Hobie or Yoongi who have many more rap lines or sort of like is the centerpiece of that rap portion. Yeah.
Well, I think well, definitely with Butter, for example. I was talking to my roommate who had gotten me into them about it the other day, and yeah, as we're talking about it really feels like the song is, by the time it does get to Yoongi coming in with his few lines, it's like, oh, like this is like a completely different song, because the whole first half is just the vocal line, and then like, okay, yeah, they throw in the rest of them later. But then you have the songs that I like more, like Idol, for example, like kicks off with Namjoon, and like that is about more so the rap line, and then you have like the vocal line like coming in here and there, but it's the rap line mainly. Yeah, and then of course like on the albums, like Episode 7, where they'll do, when it's the full album, they'll do like a full vocal line song and they'll do a full rap line song. Obviously I have a rap line bias, like not just because 2 of them are my biases, but just musically, like oof, like it's so satisfying, like it hits, like they're just so good. So like like if you heard like UGH exclamation point, which is the rap line song on Not 7, so fucking good. Like compared to like what is the vocal line song 0 o'clock, and like for me, like it's okay, but it doesn't do anything for me, but the rap line songs, yeah, no, it hits.
Yeah, and the thing is, I've never been into hip-hop. I don't know a single rap song. And I think yeah, I mean, if you were to ask me like any rap song, and I think I was mildly sort of intrigued by what's that girl who did Anaconda? Nicki Minaj. Yeah, I was mildly intrigued by Nicki Minaj, not the Anaconda, specifically not the Anaconda song. Some of her earlier stuff, because she rapped like crazy fast.
Yep.
And I was like, how does someone actually articulate those sounds that fast? And like, I can't even talk that fast. How do you rap that fast? So I was like fascinated. So I was listening to some of her earlier stuff. The Anaconda is like stupid. It's the stupidest thing. Although, I mean, I think in terms of video views, that's like the highest maybe. It's all that butt cheeks. Like, really, who cares? Even as a rap song, it's kind of sucks. But anyway, but I'm not a hip hop listener. But I think what I'd like about the BTS songs is particularly the ones where they weave in the rap portions and the vocal portions really well.
Yeah.
Like Idol, like Airplane Part 2. And I think those are some of my favorites. I also like On as well. I think On is such a great anthem-y kind of song, the whole drumming and everything, and the vocal bridge that JK does, amazing.
I just got goosebumps. Like,
yeah.
Like,
yeah. So I like Idol and Airplane Part 2. Also musically, because it incorporates like sort of different cultural styles in it. So there are specific lines in Idol that incorporate traditional Korean sounds.
Yeah.
And in Airplane Part 2, it's just sort of like Latin-y sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if they're traditional, but there's a bit of a Latin kind of feel to it that I like.
If you haven't seen it, I highly it's my favorite live performance ever, which is big thing to say because all BTS performances are amazing. But my favorite performance is the 2018 Melon Music Awards. So the whole thing is great, but specifically the idol portion. So not spoilers, but it starts off with Hobie, Jimin, and JK doing solo dances.
Yes.
But it's the version of Idol is I don't know if there's like a version name for it, but it's like more traditional sounding. And they do like with the again, I don't know the names of the things, but it's just like it's amazing. Like it's mind-blowing. Like,
they do. You're talking about the ones with they kind of have a spotlight on each of them one at a time, right? And they do a whole dance and so I think Hobie is the one who's doing it in front of like whole wall full of women drummers. And those are traditional Korean drums. And I forget which is it Jin or maybe JK? He has this like really long kind of like
the
fabric thing.
fabric.
Yeah. So
JK.
that's JK. Yeah. That's also kind of it's a nod to a very traditional kind of dance. Yeah. I forget what Jimin does.
Jimin has the fan dance.
Oh yes, the fan dance. Yes. That was kind of quite amazing too. Yeah.
And that's what he has gray hair in that one, so that's why earlier I was like, is it Jimin? Yeah. And he looks great with the gray hair. Like that's one of, oh my god.
Yeah.
Great look.
Yeah. Do you know the favorite hair color of each of the members? So Namjoon is gray.
I know, I mean, just based on that BuzzFeed Puppies interview that they did, I know Hobie and JK, at least at that time, they like red hair. I'm trying to think because I have my monitor here and I have them as my wallpaper now. So I'm that's what I'm looking at right now. Yoongi kind of rarely dyes his hair. I know the fans are obsessed with mint, like the mint Yoongi, which it's whatever for me. I actually kind of like him with black. That's my favorite for him. That's my favorite. It's not his favorite. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think I am basing off of that BuzzFeed interview. Yeah.
Well, JK, I know he's like said before, at least like one time he's like, oh, I can't really like dye my hair because it's weak or something. So he had like Idol, he had the red hair, and like around that time, like 2018, he was cherry cool. And yeah, now he's like kind of been playing with it a little bit more. Usually he's like, oh, like since I can't dye it, like I'll grow it and I'll do different styles and whatever. So he does that, but yeah, Jin doesn't do much.
Yeah, I think Jin doesn't really dye his hair that much.
Rarely. I mean, I love in Fire with the blonde hair. I think he looks very cute. He's also blonde in Idol.
Yeah, he was also blonde in Idol. Yeah.
Fire with the pushback. That's the thing, because Jin doesn't let his forehead out, and when he does, it's like game over. You know, it's just like he's like protecting us because it's like too much, like we can't handle it. But yeah, when it's like pushed back and long, like it's like, whoa. Like end of 2019, like his hair was black and it was long and he had it pushed back. Yeah, I was like, I mean, I don't know if I'd call you a bias wrecker, but like you're getting up there. So
yeah, that's total gangpei look. Total gangster look. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gangpei is gangster. Yeah.
It's interesting, speaking on the forehead thing, specifically when they come to the US, because that's another thing that I love is on YouTube. It's called like crack videos, like crack compilations, and it's just, you just kind of have to watch them. But one of the videos I was watching, it kind of pointed out where when they come to America, they are completely different. Like they style their hair differently, they dress differently. Usually they'll be a bit more unbuttoned, they'll have the hair back. But also I get the feeling that they don't want to say it's a little bit more comfortable in a way. Like I feel like they're a little bit more natural. And not that they're ever, fake or anything like that. I mean, in that way, I mean like more like relaxed perhaps versus like, created reviews and things like that. Like there is, if you like watch, you can see a bit of a difference. And they've gotten a little bit better, American interviewers, but they're so
condescending
horrible
sometimes.
and stupid
Yeah.
for a long time. But now I think they recognize, and if they mess up, Army will get them. But
I think I think the interviewer that the ones that I've seen, out of the ones that I've seen, who maybe treated them the best is James Corden.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think all the interviewers, they try their best to be polite and all that stuff, but they do make comments here and there that just seems like condescending or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Just stupid. Like, I mean, there's one, I forgot which red carpet it was. It might have been the Grammys a few years ago or something like that. But it's just like some stupid person's like, so like, you guys are here, but like, where are your girlfriends? Like, what's going on? And just like, Namjoon is just trying to like be polite, but like deflect and like, like, oh, we have Army, like, yeah, whatever. But like, don't, and they keep like pushing and just stupid stuff like that. But in terms of, the people who are like, like we love, James Corden has been fantastic. Jimmy Fallon, he like, I kind of like, just as a person, I'm not sure how I feel about him. Like, I can't tell if he is fake or not, but
oh no, he's totally fake.
But,
maybe, no, it's a total persona. I mean, I've heard in various not interviews with him, but interviews and talks about him, where they specifically, it's a persona that they crafted when they started the late, when he started hosting the Late Show or Tonight Show. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that could be questionable, but at least when it comes to BTS, like, he's had them on multiple times, and I kind of like to think of it as this like East Coast West Coast like rivalry like between Corden and Fallon, because I think it was this year where Corden had a special with them, had them on, whatever, and then like right after that like Fallon had like BTS week, like, and if you haven't seen those performances, literally all of them were probably my favorite performances.
Yeah. Oh no, they're spot on. Yeah,
those were the sets, like everything was amazing.
Yeah.
So things like that, and then even Colbert, like they were just on last week. I have to watch the clips for that, but he has them on, pretty like regularly, like once a year or whatever it is. But yeah.
Well, that was
like, it's adorable to watch that.
Yeah, that one's okay. Colbert asked him like, "Can I be a BTS member?" And Jin is like, "Yeah." And then it's like, okay, hair. What should I do? Dye your hair, yeah.
Pink color.
Yeah. I think Jimmy Fallon. But Jimmy Fallon in general is very nice to all of his guests. Mm-hmm. That's his thing. That's his signature. That he's nice. He comes across nice. All his jokes are nice. All his jokes and everything he does are crafted for Jimmy Fallon to come across as a nice guy. That's the thing. That's the persona. And so also, that also includes like the way he treats his guests and everything. But I think like as a host, of any show, you should treat your guests nice.
Yeah.
You don't want to treat them crappy, but some of them do get a little condescending and stuff like that, and
like the Ellen interview, like that one interview, like it's like if you don't know,
I probably know, but say it anyway.
Yeah. So they actually had they had a translator there as well. But she asked them like, have you ever hooked up with any of your Army? And like, I'm sure, Namjoon was like, okay, like processing, but like I'm sure like he got it, but it was also just like, how do I respond? And then she's like, oh, like, telling translator, like, tell him what hooked up means. Like, come on, da da da. And then like, that he translates, and then Taehyung is just like,
not
it's just
yeah.
like, not, no.
Yeah.
No.
No, that was perfect.
But
that was perfect. That was so Taeyang. Yeah. No, I think BTS members handle. I think whatever situation that they're in, they generally handle it very well and very professionally. Even when they're slighted, even when they're dismissed, they still kind of like handle it well. Which is another thing that I like about them, because they understand that this is a game, and you don't really get anywhere if you're like pissing people off or playing the victim game or or whatever, because I mean they could certainly say like, sorry, you're being a fucking asshole, you're being a racist, or you're being whatever. I mean they could certainly play those cards, but they don't, because it doesn't really get you anywhere. I mean, not on on in those situations, or maybe anywhere in life, really. I mean, really. Yeah, there was also one, like a red carpet thing, where they were asked, and I thought this was a really stupid question. At first, I didn't think anything of it, but then I was watching another commentary video, and I totally agree that the question was, they asked BTS was, what other K-pop groups do you think will be coming up after you, will be sweeping? I mean, like, are you fucking kidding me? Like why would they say like, yeah, such and such other group will be next in line to take over us? I mean, like,
they're so funny, because that was like the ultimate cringe question that literally all American interviewers were like, who do you want to collaborate with? And then just like at a certain point, like it was like, again, like on one of the Grammys red carpets, they just stopped. They're just like, yeah, like I want to collaborate with RM, J-Hope, Jimin, like they're naming each other, like BTS, yeah, I want to collaborate with BTS, like yeah,
because I mean, that could be a legitimate question, but if that's the only question that you're asking, and you get it over and if that's the question that you're getting over and over and over again from interviewers, I mean, what does that imply? That you're not fucking legitimate unless you establish, or you attach yourself to another established artist. Fuck, they're established. Get over it already. Just because you're not, you're not with it, doesn't mean like, the world does not revolve around your small world of knowledge. It's like, I don't know. It's like, why am I getting heated?
Yeah, and like the people that they have collaborated with, like, yes, I mean, they've said like, sure, they would love to collaborate with like Ariana Grande and Drake and people like that. But the people, like the songs that they've actually done, it's typically like smaller people that I would have never heard of if they hadn't done a thing with BTS, like Max with Blueberry Eyes with Yoongi, Lauv. I still don't know who he is, but like I do like the song. Who he did with JK and Jimin. I do love Halsey on her album on Manic. She had Suga's Interlude, which is like, especially for this weather, the rainy, like dark, like I just listen to it on repeat. It's just such like a beautiful song. But yeah. Yeah. But yeah, obviously like Halsey's a bit bigger, but that's
I actually at the event where you and I met, and the featured singer, Frank Bell, I was chatting with him afterwards, and he said that he was going to collaborate with BTS at some point.
What?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, really? I was a little bit incredulous, a little bit. So yeah, so I don't know exactly what and how, and I didn't get to those details. I mean, what I wanted to ask, I know, but I wanted to ask, I did invite him to be a guest on my podcast, and he said yes, but and then when I sent him an email with the details, he didn't respond. So I'm gonna have to follow up with him. But What I actually wanted was to ask him, hey, can you kind of get me in somehow to like interview them or
Go
something?
for it. Yeah.
And I've been daydreaming about this and like how I would interview them. I would totally do it. And I would say this on camera too, like at the beginning of the interview, that I'm gonna interview in Konglish because my Korean is shitty. So I'll mix in Korean words here and there. And that's Konglish, you know, you mix Korean and English, and you know, that's what a lot of immigrant kids talk. Kind of like Spanglish. But anyway, yeah, so I daydream. I do daydream about that. Yeah. And I'm like,
I hope it happens.
like, what kind of questions would I ask that haven't been asked already, you know? And I don't want to ask stupid questions. So yeah.
I mean, they, you know, you can tell. So one of the people that they do regularly interview with, Zach Sang. You can. This is also so you know Taehyung has his vibe checks, but also Yoongi does too. So Yoongi typically like he doesn't speak up in interviews. And there's also this like army joke / theory that he's actually fluent in English, but he just doesn't want to talk to me.
Right. That's a joke.
But in those interviews with Zach Sang, because he's asking questions about like their process and you know things like that, and just actually like their music and everything, and that's where Yugi speaks up and he like you know jumps in, he like you know talks with them, and you know there's I forgot what year it was, but there's you know they're like coming into his like you know booth whatever it was to like to do the interview, and like they're all like yeah like cool like you know like nice to see you again like yeah.
What Zach Sang is that like the it seems like a radio show. It's like one guy and I think two girls. Is that the one?
I don't know if he's with anyone else. I only know him through like BTS interviews, and I think I started following him on Twitter. But yeah.
No, this is BTS interviews. So you know, I think it might be a Chinese station. Yeah, because Zach Sang is sounds like a Chinese name. That's why.
No, he's a white dude. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, they're all like there's the video and everything on BTS on YouTube.
Yeah. Do you know what different languages they speak? I know RM or Namjoon, he speaks English. I think to some extent they all speak Japanese.
Yeah, that's what I've wondered because they do have
they do Japanese shows all the time, and also they release albums. Japanese albums. Yeah. So I think they all, to varying degrees, they all speak Japanese. But I think some of them speak more fluently than the others. Jin, I was impressed, totally impressed. Jin speaks Chinese.
I didn't know that.
Chinese is hard. It is hard. Yeah. No, he speaks Chinese. Yeah. I've seen clips of interviews where he's like totally speaking in Chinese, and I'm like, whoa. Yeah, I don't know what other languages the other members speak, but yeah. So here's a group, multi-talented. They could sing, they actually write and produce their own songs. I mean, their hand is all over it. They write portions of it. And certainly Namjoon, I think Namjoon is involved in the production side of all the songs, I think. I think Yoongi, most of the songs, and not all of them get involved in the production side, or even like the lyric side. I know, not all the time. And they speak multiple languages. And I was actually checking their profile online, and all of them, maybe except for one, or all of them, actually have degrees or in the process of getting degrees from a cyber university. Because they don't have time to go to actual colleges, and you know they were like scooped up right out of high school. So yeah, so I think so while they're touring, while they're producing, while they're learning choreography, while they're doing all of this behind the scenes stuff, everything, they are also getting degrees if they have some of them actually have finished degrees. So I mean they're incredibly accomplished if you think about it. Yeah. But anyway, yay.
And even like also like on the side too, like Yoongi, I don't know the official name for the group, but he is on there's like a I'm just like butcher this. Like I don't want to say like an organization of producers. It's I don't know. I can't say I can't think of it off the top of my head right now, like what it is called. But yeah, he's part of like in like I don't want to say an academy, but like he's recognized specifically like for his work as a producer as well. So he's, you know, at like the award shows and stuff, like he's produced for a lot of other artists, and you know, and has been recognized in that way as well, like for his talents there. So that's really cool. And they all did too, like Namjoon's you know, collaborated with a lot of other artists, you know, on like an individual basis.
Yeah. No. They're really cool. So I was thinking, I don't know if you remember we chatted about like quizzing each other on trivia. I actually have questions prepared. Do you have questions?
All right, let's. Oh crap! I didn't know something.
Oh no, that's fine. You could ask me off the top of my head, top of your head. So should we like take turns?
Yeah, you start because I want to see like what's
okay.
Questions.
All right, I'll start. Okay, I'll pull up the questions. All right, I'll start with easy ones. List all the BTS members according to height in descending order.
Namjoon. Namjoon is the tallest. Well, I'm so happy I have this picture up here in front of me to keep track. Namjoon, I think I would say probably these days. Cookie is second, I'm thinking. Then it's probably between Hobie and Tae.
Oh, maybe my list is old.
I'm going off like now, like, you know.
Are you going off now?
Cookie.
Yeah.
I mean, Namjoon's still the tallest regardless. He's like 6 feet tall. And then the shortest, I feel like it's well, and then Jin would be probably third from the bottom there. But there's this like joke. I don't know like how I view it. They always tease Jimin about being the shortest, but I think, I mean, like if you Google both of them, I'm pretty sure it still says like 5'9", right? So, but they're not gonna like if they said that to Yoongi, they teach Jimin about it mercilessly, but they never say anything to Yoongi because maybe that's also the age respect factor. But like I like to think like it's because Yoongi would like beat their asses if they try to like do something. And they're just like, Jimin is an easy target. Let's make fun of him because he wears platform shoes and all that stuff. And he's very like sensitive about his height. So I think Yoongi is probably actually the shortest, but maybe it could just be Jimin's shoes that gives him the edge there.
Yeah. So like my information may be outdated. Yeah. So the list I have is Namjoon first, and then Jin. And you know the differences are inch, half inch, like you know between each member. So it's not like huge. Yeah, it's not like huge differences. Yeah. So Namjoon, Jin, and then I'm sorry, Jin and I think Jin and V are tied at second place. Second tallest, and then JK, and then J-Hope, and then Suga, and then Jimin. So the difference between Suga and Jimin are like half an inch, you know, or something. Yeah, very. There's one of those behind the scenes video. I think it's called Confessions or something, where each member go up on like a platform, a makeshift stage, and they're just blurting out whatever is on their chest. Yeah, getting it off their chest. And when Jimin went up, he's like, you know, one of the things he said is to one of the producers, can Suga also be called, I think, Gome, or that it's a sort of term of endearment for like little kid, because we're only 1 centimeter apart.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
All right, cool. Okay, you next.
all right, okay. So the first thing that's like popped into my head, I feel like this should be easy. How many? So again, this is the rap line. How many ciphers are there officially in America?
How many what?
Ciphers, like the BTS cipher songs across the albums.
Oh, I don't know what I don't know what cipher is. Sorry, I don't know what
Okay,
cipher is.
so maybe I don't know if I'll have good questions because that's just the first thing I thought of. So ciphers on the up till Wings. So Wings was the last album that was Cipher Part 4. Those would, I guess, essentially be like the rap line songs. So a lot of them, it's it's rap line only. I don't know how to describe each of them, but like, yeah. So it starts with Cipher on.
Wait, is cipher an album?
It's a song. It's the name of the song. It's
Oh,
like the
okay.
track title. So
Okay.
yeah, and across the albums, numerically. So I'm just like looking at my albums over here. So Dark and Wild, Cipher Part 3.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do a lot of part 1s and part 2s and different parts.
Yeah.
Airplane Part 1. I actually watched it way after Airplane Part 2. And when I watched it, it's a J-Hope song, actually. His, and there's a particular sort of stanza where, he raps.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the same words because I didn't bother to look up the lyrics. I don't know if but it's definitely the same cadence and same melody that he repeats in Airplane Part 2. So tying the two songs together. Yeah, anyway, it's great.
He dances on the bar.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. So I'm just gonna guess. Total guess. 5.
I know. No, I kind of just said it on there's only 4, but then there's like obviously there's other rap songs beyond that, a rap line song, so like dang and but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's the joke that like, maybe it'll be a Cipher Part 5 and then Taehyung will be in it like Cipher Part B, because like that's the thing, like that's the it's not, I don't know if you could say it's a joke. Like I think he just wants to be in the rap line. Like he's such a rap line stan. Like and there's that one clip where he's like, I don't know if this was like Festa or something, but he's like rapping like Cipher Part 3, I think it was. And then it's coming up to Yoongi's verse. And then I think like somebody like, kind of like Yoongi, like jump in, just do your thing. And then he comes in and just like takes over, and like Tae's like because he's like going, like Tae's like dabbing, like he's like feeling it, and then like Yoongi comes in and just like boot, like step aside.
I would say over time, Tae has become my second favorite because he's such a character, and he's such a naturally charming person, and his expressions and what he does is like very expressive and very quirky and very playful, and he just has a lot of character. Yeah, like on-screen character, and I think he's kind of probably the same off camera too.
Yeah, I kind of even love even more like how he is these days, where he is like more reserved and more quiet, but like there's so much, like there's still, even if like if you don't know and you're not paying attention, you're just like, oh, he's just really quiet, whatever. But like if you know and you're watching Taehyung, like just the slight like faces he might make, or just like little like subtle things, and just like it's saying so much.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
No, it's funny. Yeah, in the Ellen interview that you alluded to earlier, when he's like not, and then Namjoon says something, it's like correcting his vocabulary, and then he goes no. That whole thing, it's like perfect.
And then like during the interview, when they're like Namjoon's talking to other stuff, he's just like sipping his water. He's like what? Like. But then like previous like other years I've watched like compilation videos where it's like what is going on in his head, because there's one interview, it's probably I don't know, maybe 2016, 2015, something like that. And he's like, they're all sitting on a couch and they're all, paying attention to the interviewer. And then he's on the end of the couch and he's just like looking the opposite direction, like into space, like making this face, like, and like having a whole conversation with himself. Like, and just like, what the fuck, Jay? Like, where do you go? But but yeah, love it.
My next question. So I'm actually going to like allude to, remember like the confessions video that I mentioned earlier, and Jimin, he's like lamenting about how people are picking on him about his height, right? So in addition to the producer, he actually also named one other person by name. Do you know who that is? He particularly didn't like what this person did. He's one of the members in reference to his height, and he was particularly yeah.
Is it I'm thinking it's probably like JK being
yes
disrespectful when he's younger and he shouldn't be doing that.
Totally. It was totally JK. In fact, he says the first thing he says is Chun Jungkook. and he comes out still smiling because Jungkook is always smiling, and he's like you're 2 years younger than me, or I'm 2 years older than you, and you dare pat my head. I am 2 years older. I ate these many bowls of rice. And that's the thing. That's a Korean thing where, when you want to emphasize how much older you are than somebody, for I don't know why, but the fact that you ate so many more bowls of rice is a thing. But it's an expression, it's like blah blah blah. Yeah. Anyway, yes. So you got it right. Yay. All right. Next question.
And he's still doing that stuff. But I love he calls him Jimin Shea. Jimin Shea.
Oh, Jimin Shea, yeah.
Mr. Jimin, right? Mr.
Jimin. Yeah, she is like, how Japanese they add san to everyone's name. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. Yeah. Like Jimin-san, Jimin Shea. Yeah.
So it's technically like he's still technically being respectful.
Oh yes,
right?
yes.
Like,
yes. Yeah. So even
yeah. That's how he says it. He says it in a funny way.
Oh, JK? Yeah?
Yeah, JK.
Oh. So he's probably being a bratty, but still honoring the older. Yeah.
It's always I'm kind of noticing as we're talking about it. Yeah, like Jimin is a very easy target for basically everyone, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder why that is, but it's okay. All of them, they all boss JK around because he's the youngest.
Yeah.
So,
but then especially like these days, because like I said, like he really enjoys working out and specifically like getting buff and stuff. Like it's just funny because they do tease him and stuff, but if there's like a Run BTS episode where it's some type of physical activity, they're like, oh my god, JK's gonna beat her ass, like that kind of thing. Like they'll make fun of him, but like they won't go too far because like you could tell they are kind of scared of him a little bit.
Oh no, but that's kind of like joking. They're joking.
Yeah, joking, but
they're not actually scared of him. No. Yeah,
and it's cute.
Because I don't think. I left Korea over 40 years ago, like 45 years ago or something. But I don't think the culture has changed so much that this has changed. Age trumps strength.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're a really, 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 really bad person. You're like, yeah. But anyway, all right. Your question to me.
Okay, this probably should be actually maybe too easy. What does RM stand for?
It originally stand for Rap Monster, but he officially, I forget which year, like 2016, 17, or one of those years, he officially changed to RM, and telling his fans, saying it stands for real me.
I didn't know he was saying real me now. Okay, that's interesting.
No, I mean,
so, like,
no, he doesn't say real me, but when he changed from Rat Monster to RM, you know, because he was signifying a sort of a transformation or an evolution, and how
yeah.
now the new RM stands for real me. Well, that's what I read. So unless my source is wrong. Yeah.
Sources. That's so that's another thing. So there is I forgot, I think it was an interview, and it was just people interviewing Koreans, like what they think about BTS. And there's this one older man that they interviewed, and he was like naming people, and he was like, oh, like Rat Monster. And so, like, to this day, like JK still clowns Namjoon about that. Like he's like imitating the man from the interview, and he'll be like, Rat Monster, like you like hear him in the back on like Run BTS or something, just going Rat Monster. Like, sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's JK.
Yeah. JK, just joking. Just kidding. All right, my question. Let's see. This should be easy. So, what are each member's real names, like full Korean names, and stage name, and one of their nicknames?
Okay, yeah, that should be easy. So Kim Namjoon, RM. He likes adding IE to the names, it's like sweet little kind of nicknames things, and he likes that like for himself as well. So like Junie, they call him Junie. Kim Sok Jin, stage name Jin. I don't know. I mean, they call him. They also, I've seen them say like Sok Jinny. Again with the IE, like making it cute.
You know what that is, right? Yeah, adding the E sound after the name. It's a thing in Korean. So you usually add that, for little kids. So yeah, so it's kind of like yeah, making it sound like they're all kids. Actually, I've seen videos where like Jin would say "Edra," which means like, "Hey, you kids, hey children, come over here," kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So Min Yoon Hee, Suga / also August D.
He has a bunch, I think. You said something about a cat, so something related to a cat is one of his nicknames. I don't know. This is what I found. Little Meow Meow.
Oh, Little Meow Meow. Okay. Yeah. Little Meow.
Well, that's one of them. And also for Jin, you forgot Worldwide Handsome.
Oh, Worldwide Handsome. Oh my God, how could you forget Worldwide Handsome? Oh, yes. So that was not to put my mom on blast or anything, but like I said, I've gotten them into it. But she's like, why does he say Worldwide Handsome? I'm like, he's not handsome. I was like, no, Mom. Like it's. I mean, I fully believe that he has the confidence, but I know like it kind of initially started as like somewhat of a joke, but then it's like that's his tagline. Like that's the thing. It's like Worldwide Handsome.
Was it something something he made up, or it was given to him?
It was, at least from what I remember, is that he, as I guess they started getting bigger and had more global fans, that like, people around the world thought that he was handsome, and he was like, ooh, people think I'm handsome, like da-da-da. So then he was like Worldwide Handsome.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
So yeah, because he wasn't, definitely like in the earlier years, he wasn't, that wasn't a thing yet. So we could probably trace the start date, back, like when was Worldwide Handsome created. But all right, so for Hobie, well, J-Hope, Jung Ho-seok, Sunshine, the Sunshine group.
Or Hobie. Hobie is actually a
Hobie.
nickname.
Yeah, I usually call him Hobie. It depends what he's doing, right? So Hobie by default, I say. Hoseok if he's being nasty, like if he's sorry. Yeah, Hoseok. Ooh, okay. Hobie. Who's next? Jimin. Why? I can't. Well, Park Jimin. Say Jimin. Think of any other nicknames. I don't know. Jimin Shea probably doesn't count. It's not even a nickname, but like his thing is like cutie, sexy, lovely.
Yeah. Well, he said this. He said this during the carpool karaoke.
Oh, dumpling. He's a little.
No.
Well, James.
No.
Oh,
not
mochi.
dumpling.
Mochi. Why was I
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
dumpling?
mochi.
Mochi. Mochi. Yeah, because of his cheeks. Mochi and Papa Mochi. Let's see, Tae. So Taehyung, Kim Taehyung, V. V. Tay. I mean, Tay is just what I usually.
Yeah. Tay is one of them.
Tay-Tay.
There's also another one where I think his fans maybe gave him this nickname. Something boy. Not bad boy.
No, I don't know. What?
Good boy. No?
Oh, good boy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
From the Colbert interview where they're like going around introducing themselves and he's like, my name is V and I'm a good boy.
No, he said it in a bunch of other interviews too. Yeah.
Yeah, this was like 2019
Yeah.
that interview. So I think like, that's good boy.
Yeah,
Good boy.
I think
He's not a good boy.
Yeah, I think that may have been a nickname his fans gave him. And I think I wonder if it was sort of a so good boy in the sense that he listens well. Maybe to his fans. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know where that
just...
came from. I'm just kind of guessing, actually. Totally guessing.
Yeah.
All right. Who do we have left? Sorry, this is a long answer. Sorry.
No. Jungkook. JK. Jungkook. Yeah. JK. Cookie.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Yay. Wow. Good job. All right, next question for me.
So kind of similar. So I don't know if this will be. It's usually in other places too. Like if they, post on Weverse or something. This might be more of like on the Twitter side of things, but I think it's also been other shows too. But anyway, each member has an animal associated with them. So usually it'll be like an emoji or something. So.
Yeah, I don't know all of them. I think Jin is either Jin or Hobie is giraffe. I think.
Jin is like a little hamster.
Okay. Yeah.
Jin is a hamster.
Somebody's a giraffe. I actually don't know. I don't know. But I know what you're talking about. They do have specific emojis that are associated with each of them, but I don't know. I don't know them. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jin is a hamster. Namjoon actually. Namjoon's usually koala bear because of Koya, his BT21 character. Who's next? Yoongi is a cat. Hobie is a squirrel. And I think that's probably because he usually has his little pouch, his little side pouch, like at all times. So he has that. Who's next? Jimin is a little chickadee. Tae is a tiger, and then Cookie is a bunny, which is also his BT21 character.
I wonder if Namjoon's emoji is koala because he spent some time in I think Australia or New Zealand, one of those two. I read somewhere that he spent like several months there learning languages. So could
Cool.
be. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Bye. Next question. I'll do one more. Let's see. What's a good one? Okay. So, and you could choose which one to do. So, you could talk about what backgrounds that they had, each of them had before they joined BTS, or what other careers they would have gotten into if they were not part of BTS.
If I don't know one, can I answer with the other? Do a mixture? Maybe?
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Who cares? No.
There are no rules here.
Yeah. No, I know. Namjoon has like talked about this before. Well, before BTS, like he was already a rapper. So that was the thing prior to that. Jin, I know Jin, he went to school for like acting and drama. So I think that's where he was going to be headed, if not in BTS. Who's next? Yoongi, he was a rapper before BTS, but I think if he wasn't in a group, like I think he said he was still trying to be like producing and still being in music, regardless. Hobie was a dancer. He was like a right way to say like street dancer.
Yeah,
like,
street dancer.
Yeah, street dancer. So that was the thing. Like he had a group, everything like that. So he was already doing that for like 10 years or so, for a long time before BTS. So you see, like, there's the cred. There's like the cred to like, they're not just coming out of nowhere. They weren't just like plucked. Like it's like, yeah, they get the talent beforehand. Who's next? Takeout. Oh, Jimin's next. Well, Jimin was also he went to school for I forget what the type of dance. If it's contemporary is the right word.
Yeah, I think so. Contemporary,
like the very like just like fluid, like you've seen like Black Swan.
Yeah,
like, that performance there. Yeah, he went to school for that. So BTS World also like it has this like side version that might not be accurate at all, but like yeah, otherwise he would be helping out making rice cakes, at least according to the game. Taehyung, I know he said if he wasn't in BTS, he would be a strawberry farmer, which is adorable.
Yeah, that's actually not true. So before he joined BTS, his father was sort of nudging him in this particular direction. Do you know what that is? And that's what he actually says in one of the interviews that he would have ended up doing if he didn't join BTS. What? He was going to be a musician, but a particular music instrument.
Oh, is it the saxophone?
Yeah, the saxophonist. Yeah. Apparently, that comes from his father. I know. I know. That's so funny. So in one of the interviews, he actually says saxophone star, right? But it sounds like sex porn star.
Oh, yeah.
And then you could hear in the background Namjoon saying, correct your pronunciation in Korean. And then he goes, saxophonist.
Yeah. That's a classic. Yeah.
So.
Did
you get everyone? Oh, JK,
no,
I think.
JK, I don't know what he would be doing. I mean, literally before BTS, he was in school.
He was in school,
yeah. He's in middle school. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I know like before picking, like going with Big Hit, like he was being scouted by a bunch of other labels as well.
Yeah. I don't know. In one of the interviews, he said that he would be a pro gamer.
Yeah.
I don't know. And actually, also like J-Hope, Hobie, he said he would be a tennis player. I don't know how.
I think that's a joke. Because that was the thing where he's like, oh yeah, I got a bronze medal, and like Namjoon's always on the side, like, yes, out of 3 teams, you got the bronze medal.
That's right. Yeah. Out of 3 teams, but I can't tell which one of those is a joke or if they're both jokes, because out of 3 teams, that sort of line of joking is actually very typical Korean joking. Like when you tout yourself about a certain accomplishment, so the immediate sort of like rebuttal is, out of like 3 teams you came third, out of even if it's not true, like people will say that as a joke rebuttal. And actually RM actually says that he would be a businessman. Yeah. I mean, I could totally see that. I could totally see him being like totally like being a CEO of some company or something,
Yeah. Like for a while, like Armin's like, Namjoon for president. Like I was like, I don't tote bag really? This is Namjoon.
No, don't be president. Don't be president. Yeah, own your own company, run your own company. Don't run the country. Yeah, I don't know how he would be as a politician. All right. Your last question for me.
Oh,
okay. Make it a good one.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right. So who during trainee days, which member suffered, well, I don't know if that's the right way to put it. Which member was involved in a car accident?
Okay, I don't know, but I did hear about this. I feel like maybe Jimin?
Yoongi.
I was gonna say either Jimin or Yoongi.
So what had happened was, so in the trainee days, because, and for anybody who's not like familiar with the trainee process, you're put up, you have food and board and everything like that, but you're not paid, and then the expenses that you've incurred as a trainee you're expected to eventually pay back. So at the time, Yugi was trying to get some money, and he was doing deliveries, and so yes, I believe he was on some type of like scooter or vehicle, something like that, and then was hit by a car, and he and his shoulder was broken. And so at the time, and this is, I'm assuming about 2012 or so, because they did it in 2015, he basically kept that to himself. He never went to a hospital or anything like that.
What?
And so basically went around with a broken shoulder, and because he was afraid of possibly getting kicked out of the group. So fast forward to now, he, in all of the years, he never, got surgery to like reconstruct or fix it, because they've also been just nonstop since debut. So the end of last year, basically about a month or so after Dynamite came out, he finally went and got surgery, and so he was out. There's a lot of like live performances from the end of last year that he's not in. Yeah, so that was why. So he finally did that, because it got to the point where the live performance that they did in October, on the second day, and like Army noticed immediately, he the choreo was something they had to lift their arms, and he couldn't lift his arms. So it got to a point where it was just like, it was always painful, but it just like, it became just like kind of unbearable like in his daily life. So he finally did something about it. He got the surgery. So it's good. So I mean, it's unfortunate, obviously, that the downtime in the pandemic and everything like that. But at the very least, like he finally got the chance to be able to do that, and get better. So, and he also
Wow.
in the last that I was talking about from the first August D album, he also like talks about that as well. And, yeah.
Wow. I mean, for him to endure that kind of pain for that many years, because I mean, at some point after the debut, like they did start making money. Maybe like at that point, I have a feeling he didn't tell anyone until it
Yeah.
became unbearable. Then he told, uh, you know, yeah, that's quite amazing.
And then people, what I hate, like anybody who is just not not familiar with them and their personalities per se. If they're just like looking at them, they're like, oh, Yoongi, like what's his deal, like why does he have such an attitude? It's like like Yoongi is like the sweetest little, like he like cares about them so much, but it's also like you have to understand, like all of these years, like he's just silently like been during this pain and just everything. And
Yeah.
anybody who says that,
I mean, but also that's incredible work ethic. Can you imagine? Yeah, and like not wanting the rest of his team down, and and all that. So yeah, wow.
And he's very open about it too. Like he particularly again like in through August D, but also even initially it was on YouTube. I think you can find it elsewhere now, but at least the first series, I forget what it's called because it's always like a play on BTS, but I think it's Burn the Stage is the first documentary series. So they have like individual episodes and then they have kind of like a movie format for it. But yeah, it's like following them on tour and how like, he brings his setup and everything, to the hotels, and he's like producing, working on songs in the hotel rooms and stuff. But he was talking about how just like, like this process, like he's just kind of like so tired like all the time and just like trying to like work through it and just like not just trying to like to not let people down.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay.
All right. Okay, I think let's wrap this up. So what would you want to tell people who are not ARMY yet? What's so great about being in ARMY?
One ask would be to just make the effort to understand, take the time to kind of like educate yourself, learn more about BTS as a whole, like their music and their background, where they come from, and just the music itself. Look up lyrics to the songs, learn more about their process and who they are as people. And then for ARMY, that's the one thing that I hate, is that freaking stereotype where people are like, oh, it's just a bunch of 13-year-old screaming girls, and it's like that's obviously like look at us, like it's the furthest from the truth. Like it's the most diverse, both in backgrounds and age. Like it's the most diverse fandom I've ever seen, but also just a very positive and accepting one. So I think that would be like the best thing is it feels like, oh, not to be like cliche or whatever, it really kind of feels like home. Like it doesn't feel like just the people, and like if you could like be in an arena with other ARMY and with BTS, like you'll just, like I said earlier, like it's really not, again, like maybe a little cliche, but it really is magical. Like it's just I really hope I can like pull my dad along, whenever they reschedule, because I think like, he likes them already, but I think like I just want like, like my parents to experience that too, like my favorite people in one place, that kind of thing. It's so positive, and and they say like they have a lot of songs like Microcosmos and We Are Bulletproof Part 2 and Dual Set, and all these songs where it's like it's about it's about ARMY, where it's like you in Microcosmos, Microcosmos, like you got me, we got you, and that's how it is. And
Yeah,
you feel that.
Yeah, and I think that's also another thing that sort of struck me about them is they pay so much tribute to their fan base as well.
Yeah.
And they recognize that. They recognize like they really couldn't have come to where they are without the fans. And it's not lip service that, that
Yeah.
they say that. They really, really do mean it. One of my favorite things to watch is like when they're clips of their live performances where they just scream out "Army, Army."
And were we both thinking of Jin at the one with that?
Oh, that
There's
one.
that one clip where he's
Yeah, that one too. I was actually thinking about Jimin in that particular instance. But yeah, that one's precious too. Yeah.
I have to send you this link. There's it's one of my favorite things. It's a song made out of BTS memes, and that probably sounds weird at the jump, but it goes with the video. I'll send you it, but it's like, yeah, just it includes that, and this made me think of it. It's so funny.
Oh.
Like memes only Army knows, like that kind of thing. But and the song is it's dope. Like it's actually like I just listened to it on its own. Let's see. But,
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, send it to me. I would love to watch it.
Yeah.
But so okay, let's do the I purple. I don't know.
I purple you.
I purple you. So this is the. So this is not specific to BTS, is it? The symbol?
No, I think
it's just
K-pop,
Korean, K-pop. Yeah.
Korean.
So this is you could do this, which is the heart, but this is the K-pop heart. You could do that too. This is the K-pop heart, and the expression is "I purple you." I don't know why, but anyway.
Hey, actually, here, right here.
There's an explanation.
Right. This is because it comes from Taehyung. Purple is the last color of the rainbow, so it means I will trust and love you for a long time. Kim Taehyung.
Oh, nice. So that expression, it comes from BTS.
Yeah, is this, and also correct me if I'm wrong. Coraje?
Pura is purple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that kind of makes sense. Okay. All right, Cassandra. I purple you. Yay!
Thank you! Yay!
Thank you so much for coming and doing this. This was so much fun. And I've been asking all my guests to do this. So would you do me the honor of telling my listeners to subscribe to my channel?
I've always wanted to do this. Okay. Yes, listeners, Army, hey, Army, non-Army, everybody, subscribe to the channel. Woo! Yes, please. Yes, do it. We love you.
Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.